What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with me, your host. Chad Medved is my name. Welcome to the show. First thing is first, if you have not yet taken a second to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast, please do that. Leave a couple kind words about what you enjoy about the podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the works. Turner Dairy Farms, the creators of the pivotal Turner Premium Iced Tea. They have a brand new limited edition flavored milk out right now, chocolate marshmallow, and I've had one in my fridge since I've been able to get them. The gas station by my work is just, they're the plug. They always got it on deck. I have yet to go in there where they haven't had it. So if you haven't yet, go down to your local bodega, grab yourself a pint of the ice cold chocolate marshmallow milk before I buy up all the rest of it. A great episode this week. A very, very... So we got a long episode this week. Whenever I put out like a poll on Instagram stories, I asked, who do people want to see on here again? And I had about 5 people message back and say, well, they want another Yoga Ralph episode. So I reached out to Yoga Ralph and I said, let's get it, come back on here and let's talk yoga. I've been getting into it heavy again. I've been hitting it 2-3 days a week. And my wife is getting into it real heavy again. And Ralph is the reason that I got into yoga. Ralph is a yoga instructor. I believe he doesn't call himself an instructor. I think he calls it maybe a practitioner. I don't know, whatever the verbiage is. But Ralph is a big reason that, I kind of put myself out there and try weird shit, yoga, you know what I mean? He's the reason that I did this. Hot yoga, you're in a room that's 105 degrees, sweating your fucking ass off. And honestly, I cannot recommend it to people enough. Hot yoga, it literally feels like you're, being exercised. And whenever I say exercise, I mean, it feels like it's pulling demons out of you, toxic demons, because you just pour out everything. And after that, after you get out of a hot yoga class, jump in a shower and wash that all away, there ain't no better feeling in the entire world. But me and Ralph sit down. We have a long conversation about, yoga, spirituality. Ralph has, so we talked a couple times in the past. First one was about his dramatic weight loss. I believe that was episode 31. And I believe episode 64, maybe around there. Ralph is talking about, how he just became a yoga teacher. And, this current episode right now he's he's a yoga veteran. He's been doing it for a couple years now. And, he's just been out here getting it. And, he's not like your average, he's not your average yoga guy. He isn't playing Enya. When you go in there, you're listening to Mac Miller, you're listening to Wu-Tang, you're listening to some of the 58s. I mean, you're listening to good music. And it's different. I mean, it's more approachable for, people who aren't really necessarily... I don't know. I just feel like yoga has a negative connotation to a lot of people. Maybe not now since people's minds are progressing, but for years, yoga was always thought to be, a female-driven hobby. And that's just not the case now. I mean, you got Diamond Dallas Page changing people's lives with DDP yoga. You got all kinds of people jumping on the yoga train because it's incredible. It really is incredible. And it just, it makes you feel good. But we sit down and we're talking about, so Ralph is a little bit deeper than just yoga and spirituality. This motherfucker is getting into gong yoga, which is basically you just lay down there, meditate, breathe, while a gong master, Billy the Gong Master, he plays these gongs. And I've done this, I might not have gotten the same result as Ralph did, but maybe I just haven't unlocked that part inside of me yet. But basically, I was laying there and some guy was just playing gongs for about an hour. I don't know. It was kind of distracting for me. Maybe that's not the first place for you to jump into. I feel like you got to work your way up to that. You got to work your way up to freeing yourself mentally to be able to be rewarded by the gongs, because there has to be some truth to it all. So I'm about to jump into another gong yoga session, and then we start talking about cacao sessions. So, Ralph has been getting into eating cacao. Cacao is that's where chocolate is coming from. You know what I mean? But this is raw shit. I think he calls it cartel grade cacao, but it's basically, it looks like a brick of heroin. You shave some off into a hot chocolate or maybe a bowl or something, a little oatmeal, and it'll change your life. You'll see the devil. No, I'm just kidding. You're not going to see the devil, but there's benefits to it. But Ralph kind of explains them a little bit better than I can right now. But just a great conversation. Ralph is a funny ass dude. I'm very, very supportive of what he does, and he's very supportive of what I do. And I just appreciate being able to sit down with my friends and have good talks. So without further ado, episode 165 of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with Yoga Ralph.
I gotta use the telephone.
Hello?
Telephone.
I'll call you right back. Call you right back.
Telephone.
I'll Call You Right Back podcast. All right. It's a little bit more official than the last couple times you've done this. Last time we did this, almost, or that might have been the first time. No, the second time we did this, I almost fucked everything up. And remember the thing just stopped recording?
Yeah. We were talking for a while too.
Dude, we were talking
about the float tank too.
Yeah, you were talking about your quest in the float tank, and we were getting into how crazy it was. And I looked down and it just wasn't recording, and it felt like something died. It felt like part of me died. Then we just stopped, ran to Rite Aid.
No, that worked out good because we got to go to Lampert's and get that fucking
I forgot about
pot
that
roast sandwich real quick.
That was crazy. But we ended up going to get a whole nother SD card. But okay, so you have been on the podcast, I think second most times out of all the guests, besides for Antoinette.
Number 3.
No, this is for number 4.
Oh yeah, that is right. The phone-in alien shit.
Yeah.
Which is phenomenal because June 1st, we're supposed to get that disclosure on aliens.
I can't wait. This is it's so weird that it's such a overlooked thing, that aliens are real now. People are just I feel like people are just you're why isn't this enough of a big deal? But you were on episode 31. We talked about your quest from being, just a fat dude and just changing your fucking life. And that was my point, that my life kind of shifted into being more accepting of different things. And that was August 9th, 2018. That was the first time I did yoga ever. And it was amazing. Changed my life for sure. And then you were on episode 63, which was another good episode about you were. So the first episode was about you getting into wanting to.
It was the journey, and then the second one was I'm about to teach this class next week.
Yeah, exactly it. It was before you were oh, I might get into yoga. I'm going to start becoming a teacher. And then the second episode, you were done with your classes and you were starting.
Yeah, it was go time
to run your own. And that we talked all about that. And then, the third episode was episode 117. And that was whenever I talked to people who have experienced, aliens or UFOs or something. And that was a good ass episode as well. But I wanted to have you on here again because I don't know. I'm I'm a very, very, I phase in and out of things. And for a while there, I was pretty stagnant. All right. And I was becoming a piece of shit. And I was just noticing myself, one night I ate almost a whole box of fucking Sarah's chocolate pretzels. And I was just I felt bad. I was just I felt bad physically, mentally. I just felt down on myself. And I was just what the fuck am I doing? My wife is doing good. She's been hitting yoga and we've been dipping our toes back into it after the pandemic, but I was feeling real fucked up about myself. And then the other day I heard this thing on Twitter that Mike Tyson said, and I want to play it for you. And I want to know your thought of it. So first of all, before I play that, I want to know how you keep, your discipline with all this stuff.
Man, it's just the way of life. I don't know.
But it's easy for you now because you're already in that path. It's almost like, you already carved a path and there's big walls. So it's hard for you to like get out of that.
Well, once you turn it on, like Rambo, there's no kill switch. You don't turn it back off. It's on there. Like I don't like eating spinach every day.
Yeah.
But I do.
Yeah.
Because, I know what it's doing for me. It's just,
it does good things.
The benefits, and I don't know, you can't turn it off.
Now, do you have any sort of feeling of like, do you ever get the feelings of not wanting to go work out, not wanting to do yoga?
Always.
Okay.
I always, yesterday was a prime example. I went to yoga. I dragged myself to yoga, which turned out to be the smartest move of the day for sure.
Absolutely.
It's days like that when you don't want to be on it, that you need to be on it.
You need to just
and then,
push it.
Boom. Next thing you know, it's like the fucking Bitcoin. It's like, it's down a little bit. Now we're back on the rise. Just gained like 80 cents real quick.
Exactly. It's like, every morning I was waking up and I was just like, yeah, I'll do it. Fuck it. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do that tomorrow. Do it tomorrow. And then like I went to yoga. All right. After like probably 6 months off of doing it. And me and Antoinette were into it pretty heavy. And I went into it and I came out of it and I was like, this place is going to change my life. I couldn't do hot yoga with a mask on. I wasn't having any of that. But we went to our first class, Wild West style, no mask. And I felt reborn kind of.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's good. It's good to get in there and actually breathe again. It's been wonky the last year, to say the least. It's been very, very fucking weird. It killed my momentum right where it started. Like they fucking closed studios down and everybody transitioned to Zoom, and
I hate that.
I hate that. Like I feel like it's like influencer shit. Like you want to see me do a fucking dancer's pose in my goddamn living room? Like
yeah.
And then while you're at it, like, why don't you throw me $8 for it? Like,
but it's like the thing that I don't like about it is like you can't feel the energy.
No, not at all. No, that's the best. That's the best part of the room. Like, that's the benefit of teaching. Like, when I signed up for teaching, like it was the weirdest thing. I signed up thinking like I was gonna go to motherfucking yoga college. Like I was gonna go in there and perfect like my eagle arms and learn like secrets. I learned like the secrets and shit, but like basically learned how to teach yoga to people that were willing to learn it. And when I get up there, I could do yoga nonstop. Like my cardio is crazy. You can't stop me. Like the sickest teachers, you won't tire me out in that hour and a half. Like I'll get through it.
Yeah.
And but when I teach though, like I'm up there like, and then at night I'm like,
you push
straight to bed. Yeah, it's like, damn.
I saw you post a picture the other day of your mat after, and
It's
it was
blood
covered.
sport, dog.
And you
It's
said blood sport.
Like like
Well, it's so
that's
it's
an hour 15 minutes of just
how
wringing your liver out. And
how hot is it in your classes?
I only set the temperature up to 99. That's my secret. It's only 99 degrees, but
with all the other people in
with
there,
the bodies in there and the humidity, that's
probably get to like what 110 maybe.
It
feels way worse.
It feels way worse. It does. It feels way worse, but
I still have yet to been to a class.
I've seen it like the highest I've seen it on a thermometer hit like was like 105 with the bodies in there. But like when it's like that, there's no other choice but to open a window. There's no other choice but to open a window. Like it's not controlled humidity or nothing. Like you can't just have people just dropping to their knees and dying and shit in the middle of class. Like that defeats the whole purpose.
Well, the first time I did it, like I was so nervous about it because like we did a yoga routine in my living room, and that was the first like time I ever went through like, vinyasas and everything like that. And it kind of like was a good initiation, but then I was like, that was tiring, but then adding in the heat to it is like a whole different level. And the first time I went in there, I walked in the room and it was almost like it's almost like it steals your breath.
It almost bottoms you out. Like a Tyson punch to the ribs. But it's not like a bad thing. It's just something different. It takes like, I would think it would take maybe like 2 to 3 classes for your body to adapt to it. And
then to kind of acclimate it.
Then once you're in it,
you need it.
Yeah, you're like, like
Some-
some
I-
Game of Thrones. Like I was born in the fire. Now.
I swear to God, I feel like
I sit in a sauna at LA Fitness like for half hour, 40 minutes.
I know I
just
love
like-
the heat.
Just like let's get it.
I feel like that, like we went to some yoga classes and like there's nothing wrong with yoga that's not a hot yoga class, but we went to, you know, I'm doing air quotes, hot yoga, and it wasn't hot.
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah.
I felt like I didn't even sweat.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was like upset. I was like, damn, like I want to be like covered in sweat. And now this place that I just started popping into in Bridgeville, it's like the closest that I've been to a yoga flow class as far as heat.
Yeah.
Because this lady, she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 10 different heaters in there
Yeah.
oscillating. So I'll get a spot right in front of a heater, and this heater's like, you know, 18-inch tall, like 12 inches wide. So it's ripping heat right on me. And this like first time that I went back, it was like the first time that I like felt that I had a release.
Yeah.
Of everything, all my like toxins, I felt it just come out of me. It felt like
It's dope.
it's
That's-
like,
that's-
and I almost have like chills thinking about it now. But listen, before we get too deep into this, I do an opening segment with everyone. It's called "What's in the Cup." All right, what's in your cup?
today, I mean, it's the same thing all day, every day. Spring water.
Deer Park.
Yeah, Deer Park is the go-to brand.
That's what I keep stocked in that fridge now when people ask for water.
Yeah, it's the go-to brand, but spring water all day. I mean, the game's fucked up. The water game's fucked up.
The water
plastic
game is-
game's fucked up. I seen some shit about plastic and
We've been duped.
how we've been duped.
We've been duped.
and poop scooped.
Yeah.
Like they fucked us all up. That shit about the plastic
Yeah.
and how the average male at 25 only has like the same testosterone as like a 67-year-old.
Yeah, dude, it's
And
insane
it's
to
from,
think about
from
that.
like microwavable plastics and shit like that.
Microwavable plastics,
Like,
plastics in your drinking water.
Can we
That
do better as human beings? Like Elon, take your money and plug it in the save this. Like what the fuck?
there was a
Goofy
doctor.
alien boys.
There was a doctor on Rogan that was talking all about
Yeah,
this.
that's where I seen it. Well, Rogan always making people have fucking reality
Panic attacks.
nightmares. Yeah.
Well, I didn't listen to it yet, but a couple different people were like, "Did you listen to this episode yet?" And I was like, "Fuck!" Like
I had to turn it off
crazy.
because it's like the amount of my carbon footprint for like a green person is the worst. It's the worst. My carbon footprint's terrible.
I know. And speaking of that, it's like, you know, I was thinking like, you know, I was like, oh fuck, like how many waters do I have? Because I know you're gonna rip
Yep.
through water. And I was like, man, these are like 5 different water bottles. And I'm like, man, I'm being a piece of shit.
Yep.
I should just have a gallon in there. But the other thing that we have in our cup, this was a surprise.
I know this is a surprise. This is a pleasant surprise as well.
Now, Ralph has been, you know, I've said on here numerous times that the 2 motivational people that I've came across doing this podcast has been you and Matt Christie. I think that you and Matt Christie give me more motivation than a lot of the people that I've ever spoke to.
That dude doesn't get the credit he deserves because he's in like a different
Gangster.
bracket. Of,
He is the biggest gangster
he's
in the
a
city.
fucking G.
Yeah,
he's
and
a fucking G.
I can never
hats
say
off,
it
hats
enough.
off, hats off, Matt. To you,
I can never say it
There's
enough.
mad respect in that. I never thought about like the backbone of the industry of like the restaurant. I'm just the
Right.
local yokel that comes,
Yeah.
tips well,
Patronizes.
I patronize, eat good.
Yeah.
And I ain't got to do the fucking dishes tonight. Like
I know.
good shit. But like, man, homie got to carry that shit up and
Up
down
them
steps.
stairs,
And
like, it's
we
crazy.
live in the game right now is fucked up.
I know.
Nobody's working.
And like
I am-
talking to him like during pandemic, like I've never been friends with like a chef and an owner of a business. So talking to him about all this and how fucked up it's been and how ridiculous it is, it's so stressful to me. I'm sure he's stressed like all the time, like making his business work. But in this world,
losing sleep one week and then next week they tell you you can't do this no
and then
more.
he just
it's
had
like-
another kid.
and it's hats off to that motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's a true fucking G.
People have listened to it 100 times on here. I can never say enough good things about Streets on Carson.
Everybody that rode through this fucking bizarre wave of
And
shit
adapted.
and adapted and came out of it. A lot of people like I look at it as the biggest transfer of knowledge and the biggest transfer of wealth.
Well,
you had a year of just chilling. Like, what could you do? You can't go. I mean, you could do shit. It wasn't like.
Well, this was a leveling.
China.
You know, it leveled us all to the same playing field, so to speak. You know, oh yeah, this is so. To our second, what's in the cup? I got a juice place by me, clean juice. I like it. You know, it's not too bad. What do you think about their wheatgrass whenever you first tasted it?
I just took a sip of it and I had to I had to whip back real quick. Like, whoa. That was like a handful. I just cut my grass this morning, and it tastes like I just ate a handful of it.
A handful of it. You're the first person to put me on wheatgrass.
I mean, it's the fucking fountain of youth, Ponce de Leon.
Yeah, it's like whenever I had it and I sipped it the first time, I don't know, maybe it was placebo effect, but it felt like I almost had fire in my blood.
I just banged that shot right now, and like. Fucking gripping my hands like I'm the Incredible Hulk.
I know, it's like a concentrated like bag of spinach, like grass, everything.
I ate a nice hunk of spinach before I left my house.
I had spinach this morning too.
Good solid breakfast. I eat the same fucking thing every day.
What do you have for breakfast?
My breakfast right now consists of I'll tell you how I build. I build it the same way every time. It's like fucking mayhem. I take CMOS.
Yeah.
The CMOS gel.
Believe me, I was going to ask you all about that.
I take like 2 scoops of that shit. And then I take like I take a few scoops of Oinkos. Like, that's the only thing dairy I'll fuck with is like yogurt. I'll eat Oinkos yogurt because it's like 18 grams of protein.
Yeah.
I'll slam that in there. And then I'll take fresh strawberries and fresh blueberries. But I top it off with this Rising Spirits Cacao. I don't even know if I say it
Cacao.
Right. Cacao. I call it cacao because, like, what the fuck, man? It's cocoa. Like,
yeah.
Let's get the Mandela effect out of here and just call it what it is. It's cocoa, but it's raw dark chocolate, untouched by the man. Like these cartels that grab it, I call it like the spiritual cartel grade. Like,
yeah.
This shit, it's like ceremonial grade. I shave like. I don't know, like a.
What does it come in? Like how?
It comes in a fucking brick, like.
Looks like a brick of heroin,
dude. Like a brick of heroin. It's wrapped up in like newspaper and shit with like a fucking with like a Flower of Life fucking stamp on it and shit.
It looks so
Guatemala.
Crazy.
Like it's dope.
So you shave that into
I shave that in there every day. I mean, people get cacao or however the fuck you say it. Cacao nubs at like Whole Foods and things like that.
But it ain't the same.
But it's a superfood. Dark chocolate's like a superfood, but it's not the same. This shit is ceremonial grade. These dudes they come to Yoga Flow often. These cacao cats who I order from.
We will get into that.
Yeah,
because I want to expand
I just
into
did the cacao the other day. Yeah. Whatever you want to know. It's something to experience.
Finish the breakfast though.
Oh, the breakfast. Yeah, that like blueberries, strawberries, yogurt, the cacao, a banana, and an apple.
You blend it all up.
I just put it in a bowl and I've been adding granola or sometimes Cheerios when I'm
feeling frisky.
Just whatever's around. Like depends on what I got around. Like Cheerios, like I don't know, just some type of filler because that's like all fruit and liquid.
Yeah,
like,
you need
I gotta
something
put
else,
something in there,
some sort of grain
to make a turd at the end of the day.
Yeah, right.
You got to put something in there. I usually eat that, and then like it depends on like I usually intermittently fast. I've been intermittently fasting for like 2 years. I'll start eating at noon. And then I'll stop at 8 o'clock. But that's super fucking tough to do sometimes.
Yeah. But, some days I wake up and I'm just starving.
Some days I get real lenient with it and I won't eat till like 3 p.m., which I think like it's not a good thing to do that. Like I think I should put something in there to fire it up.
I was just talking to, I was just listening to George St. Pierre talking to Rogan about like fasting, and he said that he'll fast for like 3-4 days.
Well, my buddy Blows fasts all the fucking time. All the time. He does water and juice fast. And man, I never had the balls to go over 1 day.
Yeah, I never had like the science behind
it. But it really is like they say it like resets your cells but anytime I've ever been sick, anytime you've ever been sick, like if you've really been sick, like with the flu or whatever type of virus, you don't eat. And that's how it fucking goes away. That's just the same thing technically. It's like fasting away, let your body repair your body.
Like a concentrated dose of like long-term fasting. That makes sense.
Well, I mean, we do, this lady, Michelle, she does these stomach resets like every spring, every fall. It's like mung beans and rice. It's if you're not in the fasting,
Yeah.
but you want to take the benefits of it, it'll give your digestive, like it's good to give your digestive system.
What does it just
break
clean
every
you
once in a
out
while.
completely?
It's gonna well, it's gonna make it so that your intestines and shit don't gotta work hard as fuck to because like you think about like nobody gives their inners any credit at all out here. We're all out here at the gym trying to pump our arms up and shit, but nobody gives a fuck about our organs. Like,
Yeah, that's a good point.
and it's
Gut health and everything.
I mean, think about the shit you eat. Like, do you eat things that are easily digestible, or do you eat shit like when you take a shit in the morning, like you see a big hunk of corn in there? Like,
Yeah.
It's always good to just put something soft in there every once in a while, or don't put nothing at all in there. Just some water and let that motherfucker be cool
Yeah.
for a day or so, not work.
I mean, that makes sense. It's interesting to think about that because I saw some like ad pop up on, whenever I was watching a YouTube video, and it was talking about how the average human has like so many pounds of shit, like old shit just in their intestines that is not like, coming out. It's almost like, corrosion on the inside of a pipe.
Like everybody knows a kid who ate a penny when they were a kid. Like, that's probably still fucking in you. Like,
I know, right? But it's like they have this stuff that is going to be like a complete body cleanse that like, you shit like 8 times a day, but it's like supposedly it's like super beneficial for you. It gets like the, the bacteria or the microbials, however, whatever terminology in your stomach work in a different way. And so now full circle, what does this CMOS do? Like, how did you get put onto this?
Well, the CMOS is, I don't know, fad maybe. I don't know what you call it. It's, I started seeing it in health food spots. And once again, my homeboy Blig, he's like one of my best friends. He, throughout like my whole little weight loss journey, he's the one who put me on Wheatgrass.
Yeah,
like,
you told me about that.
He passed that shit on to me. He put me on the CMOS. Spoonful CMOS. It's 92 the fucking.
What's it taste like?
It tastes like fucking CMOS. It tastes like it's not disgusting.
Is it like a fishy jelly, like a salty jelly?
No. It's like the opposite. There's no taste to it that it's disgusting.
Okay.
Like you mix it. I mix it in with the fucking yogurt, no problem. But like I used to take just like a spoonful. Like I'll take a spoonful of it after yoga class because like I'll sweat. Like my sweat will start turning white and shit. Like, I'll sweat all my shit out. I'll take a spoonful or two of that, just raw dog it, and every time I'll be like,
it's almost like aloe or something.
It just doesn't go down smooth. It's just like a white jello. Like
now, you
could put that shit on your face too for like skincare. I've never fucked with it like that.
Really?
I just look at it. Well, I mean,
it's like some Patrick Bateman shit.
I mean, it's the minerals, 92. I don't know exactly how many minerals the body like requires. It's only like 98. That shit has 92 of them.
Oh wow!
So
is it expensive?
It is. It's like
how much is like a jar full?
I get them from. I'll throw some shout outs to Pittsburgh Juice Company, who I've been fucking with since day one, where I always got my wheatgrass from. They have it. The CMOS lady is what her name is, and
that's her name, the CMOS lady.
That's what the sticker is on it, or whatever, CMOS lady or some shit like that. It's like $28, and then
how long does that last?
No more than 2 weeks. They say to throw it away,
okay.
But a jar. I mean, I eat that motherfucker in a week.
Yeah,
it's like they tell you take 2 spoonfuls of it, and I usually take 3 or 4 because just I get it on.
Yeah,
like I'm not trying to. I mean, I feel good. Since I started taking it, I feel a hell of a difference. Like I don't get dehydrated. There's like a cramp. Are you kidding me? What's that? I don't know what the fuck that is.
How much water do you drink a day?
I definitely drink a gallon. I try to get a gallon and a half. Like more than likely, we're gonna have to hit the pause button on this because I'm probably gonna piss like 3 or 4 times during this. But
when do you want to drink this?
We can fire that motherfucker right now.
This is the second thing I bought. So I since Ralph put me on to Wheatgrass, I stopped at my juice spot. It's called Clean Juice. It's over in McMurray. I like that place. They always got some fire shit. You can get all kinds of cool shit there, but this is the Hot Shot. It's organic orange, organic cayenne, and organic turmeric. I've had these before. Tastes like you swallow a hot coal.
But before I lose my train of thought, the other spot was Live Fresh, right off the Homestead Bridge. Homeboy down there be selling. It's 412 Moss. I hope I got that right. I hope it's 412 Moss. I haven't. They've not had it for the last couple of weeks. I've been getting it from the CMOS lady.
Yeah,
down on Butler Street. But Live Fresh and PGH Juice got that shit. You could get it online too. It comes dry,
like dehydrated.
Yep, you'd have to add. I'm too bougie for that bullshit. Just give me that shit raw. Let me make you do that shit. I actually ran into it on Facebook. Like a couple people from my neighborhood were doing it, which I thought was funny. Like,
what do you mean they were selling it?
Selling bootleg fucking CMOS jars, mason jars of CMOS, and I'm like, well, how much do you want for them? And they're like $15. And I'm like, really? Like,
it's like, where are you getting it?
That's what I mean. Like, huh? And I don't know. I'm gonna have to actually check that out. It was like a younger girl. I seen her posted in like the McKeesport What's Happening area, and I'm like, really? Like, that's CMOS for 15?
You got
like,
that for the low?
Like, I need a jar. Yeah, I always need a new plug. Like, I need 4.
You know what I noticed today? I went to go get these shots. They got these like pre-done shots in the coolers, and yeah, spicy. It's a spicy boy.
At first I was like, man, that ain't too bad. But then it was like, whew.
Well, it gets you
it finishes you off. It finishes you off with that.
But the first couple that were in the rack said drink by 5'9" or drink by 5'8" or whatever. And then this one was all the way in the back. So you already know. Veteran move.
Yeah,
grip from the back.
That's a veteran move. If you're grabbing the front milk, you're a fucking fool.
Yeah, you're foolish.
You obviously didn't learn.
I know. It's like, how do you grow up like that? But this right here, I love these shots because they're a little bit spicy. You know, they switch it up. It's probably going to, just make us shit everywhere. But
I'll probably have a deeper voice after I take this.
Yeah, it feels like you're, ooh.
Oh, I'll tell you what, that grabbed me right by the boo-boo.
Yeah, that was a good one, though. I had to wash it down with water. Okay, so the last year of this pandemic has been pretty crazy. And being a yoga instructor yourself, yoga studios were shut down. And like, it's kind of fucked up because, once I kind of really started hitting my stride, like hitting it 2-3 times a week with my wife, it all shut down. And it kind of like, I don't know, it messed me up. And like, what is it like for you? Like whenever you guys like knew about this in the beginning, like what was your idea of all this?
Well, I remember it happening. I seen it all unfold, and I was telling them, I remember telling Michelle, like, I would go to Michelle's every Wednesday morning. I was like, man, it's about to get weird out here. I was like, they're closing down shit. Like, she's like, oh, nah, it's no big deal. Friday comes around, boom,
closed.
Emails like, everybody thought the same shit. What the fuck what did old Baldy say? 15 days to flatten the curve or whatever. But that 15 days turned into a long time.
Almost 15 months.
That shit hit me hard because I just was coming into my flow off of this. Like, I felt like I was just getting comfortable up there.
You were building like a roster because I saw people.
Not only that, I had like they fucking love me in Murraysville. It was I ain't been to Murraysville. I go to class there every like once in a while. I'll hit a Monday up in there, but I ain't taught in Murraysville in a long time. I feel like that studio is like. It's not my hometown one, but it's definitely.
What's your home studio? Irwin?
I go to Irwin because it's right there. It's like 20 minutes away. Murraysville's like to hit a Murraysville. I gotta. It's like.
So you got to get on
40 minutes. Yeah, it's like 40
a little bit
minutes.
different. That's why we stopped.
Definitely got to smoke a joint on the way to that motherfucker too, because it's like it's not right there.
Well,
taking back hills. And
so we were so spoiled because like you started teaching at Murraysville and like we started going to your classes, and it was like hot as fuck. You know, it's the best class.
Yeah.
And the way that you do yoga, I feel is such a, you know, it's so much more approachable for people that are like interested in trying it, because, you know, some people don't want to go into yoga and listen to fucking Enya and like have like, you know, frankincense ripping around. But, you know, like for you, you go in there and I'm listening to like Mac Miller swimming. I'm listening to like Wu-Tang, and it's just like, you know, who says that it has to be some sort of like, you know, fucking, you know, spiritual music.
Well, the whole thing, my whole thing has been about like, why does it gotta be rich white woman shit? Like,
yeah, you put the OG back in yoga.
Like, it's like, not to say I was poor, but definitely like, we weren't. My mom wasn't fucking doing yoga like that.
Yeah,
yoga like. That's California shit. Like,
yeah,
that ain't in the hood at all. Like,
it has a negative connotation.
And it has a negative connotation, and I carry a negative connotation to it too, because I mean, not to sound like a hater or anything, but there are Karens and there are the Toms of the world that will get on Yelp and they'll just, I call them Toms, like, hey, Tom will get on there and just be like, oh, America, like, you know, whatever. But you can't make everybody happy, but like,
yeah,
that shit pisses me off. Like, it put a little chip on my shoulder when I first started teaching. Like, I heard ladies gossiping, like they didn't know it was me.
Did they
they're like,
your class?
I hear he swears and plays rap music, and it's like, man, I go out of my way not to swear. Like, I swear a lot in real life. Like, I be wanting to say, let that shit go all day in yoga.
Yeah,
man, just let it go.
Yeah, you just like hold it back.
I hold it back. I breathe it out myself.
For who you are, you're pretty composed for yoga.
Yeah. I got no goddamn business being like, the fact that I teach yoga is like the weirdest thing ever. That's like,
well, this is the way I was thinking of it, and this is how I wanted to describe it to you. Is like for you to, you know, like people think of a yoga as like a person that's like a, you know, vegan, like, you know, skinny, fit, that's like listening to like crazy shit, wearing a hemp necklace. And I feel like that you know, for 90% of the, not 90, but probably 75% of the people who've never done yoga, that's what they think they're going to get. They think they're going to get fucking Enya. They think that they're going to like be in there and it's going to be strange. But, you know, for people that, and like the people that are already doing yoga are, you know, they're keen to that. Like they know that that's what it is. They're okay with it. But for people,
that is 90% of it.
But it's like the people that have never experienced it, that might have some sort of like fraction of an interest in it. You know, I feel like the thing that's keeping them away, you know, and being from a person that's speaking from experience, the thing that was keeping me away is that like you feel so far removed from that, you almost feel you almost don't feel welcome. But for you, to know you and to know that you're like this like raw cut dude that's like playing some like good music that you don't have to like necessarily like kind of feel weird about. Like you listen to Mac Miller, it's like no matter what, you're gonna feel great. And it's like for you to do it, you feel more approachable to this because you're like, this dude definitely, you know, you're covered in tattoos.
I call myself the boss of yoga. If you know who, man, old heads will know this one. If you know who Brian Bosworth is, he played for the Seattle Seahawks back in the 90s.
Yeah.
The loudest motherfucker, Mohawk, would dye his hair and shit. I'm the Brian Bosworth of yoga. Like the thing about Boz was, this is what makes it the best analysis. Like, thing about Boz was he's the loudest motherfucker. Like everybody sees this shit. They all see it. Everybody sees this. Like,
yeah,
people share my shit around the city because like my approach to it isn't like, oh man, shit.
Yeah.
Like it's like, it's in your face, like Ice Cube. Like,
yeah, like, for sure.
Like protect your fucking neck. Like, let's go.
It's like you don't make it feel like
I'm the gatekeeper. Like I said, I'm Brian Bosworth. I'm the loudest motherfucker. I got eyes on it, but I'm not the best. Like, I'm a bust. But
you put in hard work for it.
I do. blood, sweat, and tears. Like,
well, that's and
for
people
real,
could
for
see
real,
that. Like people could see that. Just that people. I feel like
drove
someone.
home many a time soaking wet from yoga. Like,
I was soaking wet this morning. I don't know why, but I sweat so good this morning. But it's weird because for you to run your classes, I look at you and I don't see like someone who's like perfect in it. I think that makes you, an equal rather than someone who's just like, if someone's up in a crow or a side crow or something like that, you're kind of like, fuck, I can't do that.
I can't do side crow. I've been doing yoga for consistently like 6 years straight. I can't do eagle arms. That's like anything shoulder related. It's like, go fuck yourself.
Well, it's like that makes it seem okay that you can't do that, and it's like well,
I hit boys with that men approach. Like people forget like balls. Like it's hard to just hit a chair pose and not like
I hate chair pose,
things like that. But I try to avoid those things. I try to make it user friendly for everybody. I try to make it. I like it that it's not beginner yoga where I ain't got to sit there and break the shit down. I like how
you could run through flows.
We can run it. Let's run it. And I don't stop. I'm like I said,
you have a consistent pace.
You can't turn it off. And I move at a quicker pace than most of the teachers would do because they'll sit there. I'm like, it's almost like robotic to like drill sergeant-ish.
Yeah.
Because it's like, let's get to the point. I don't want to be like, hips distance, blah, 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 blah. While you're sitting there just gassed out. I'm like, all right.
It's almost like
boom, boom. We're on now. Like,
it's almost like I want it to be quicker so I don't have the opportunity.
Like we're holding it for 3 breaths. My 3 breaths are literally like the 3-1 Mississippis.
Yeah.
If you go to like another teacher's, they're going to set you up and hold you.
Yeah, they want you
then they're
to breathe,
drop.
Then they'll talk, and then they'll breathe.
Talk. Sometimes I'll be in class and I'll be like, shut the fuck up. Like,
it's like sitting in a bind and you're
get
like,
me out of my goddamn hip.
I know, right?
And now, it's like, I try to avoid that. I try to just be like, boom, boom. And if it's fucking me up, I know it's fucking yins up.
Absolutely.
It's fucking yins up.
Absolutely. So for you to explain, the benefits to someone who might be like listening, that might be interested of it, for me, the benefits of yoga is like, the best way for me to describe it is like, whenever I'm not doing it, I feel like an old camp chair stuffed in a bag. Yeah. And whenever I do yoga, I feel like the Tin Man with oil up in him now.
Well, there's mind, body, and spirit. First was just your body.
Yeah.
Just to be able to stretch.
It's so beneficial to people.
I always bring up fucking gravity. All you flat earthers, fuck you. I'm bringing up gravity because like it's pressing on you. Like stretch the fuck out, elongate your shit all day. Like right now, fix your posture. If you're fucking listening,
I know, right? I saw you put that on there. Drink some water,
dude,
fix your posture.
I'm the worst. Like practice what you preach, Ralph. I'm out here slouched over, leaning on this microphone, but. Fix your posture, pull your chest out. Just doing that, it commands presence anyway. That Superman mind frame.
Presence. I like that.
It does. I'm one of the sickest cats. Like,
well, I feel like
if you interviewed me for a job, like I would come in there and just like whatever it took. Like it would happen. It would just be like boom, boom. They'd be like, all right, this motherfuckers.
What do you get out of it mentally?
Mentally, that's the best part. I don't give a fuck what you do, what you're into, what you believe in, what your background is, rich, poor, white, black. It doesn't fucking matter. Kids, no kids, job, no job. Everybody needs the mindfulness. You need mindfulness, whether you fucking meditate in the morning. You need to shut the world off.
Absolutely, especially in today's world.
Like, just to show up on your mat and give me 75 minutes of your fucking day, just knowing like this is what it is. You're about to sweat your fucking face off and we're about to just breathe.
Yeah, and get out of your head.
Nothing matters. I don't give a fuck what your grocery list looks like.
No matter what that 75 minutes.
I don't care who you're sleeping with at your job. Like none of that shit fucking matters. Like you're in these, welcome to the dojo. Like if you came into this dojo what happens here stays here.
Yeah, I like that.
leave when you take I look at it like this: when you take your fucking shoes off, like to walk in here,
you turn the world off.
Yeah, it's there. You're
in the Matrix now. That's what I feel like.
Are we in the Matrix?
I feel like
I know we're in the Matrix. The CIA released documents saying we're in a simulation, not a soul batted eye.
I never even heard that.
Bro, I'm going to send you this link on this. Well, one, we might as well stick to this because people are going to think I'm absolutely.
We're going to get into your craziness because you've been getting into crazy shit.
But this world is a simulation. Like, and the people, I don't know. Once again, whether you believe in God, yourself, God within, we're in a goddamn simulation. And
why do you think that?
Dude, why? Well, one, the CIA released documents saying. Like,
besides that, though, like what in your everyday life? This is how. Well,
one, anybody that's had like a true spiritual awakening, not fake woke, not these fake woke motherfuckers that be out there fist up on Facebook posting every 20 minutes. If you're really woke, like when I woke up, first thing I did was not show up to work.
Yeah,
like that's not fucking happening. Are you kidding me? Whoever's listening to this, like, I'm not a role model at all. Don't listen to what I'm saying. Don't quit your job. But like, I ain't worked a real job, and I retired. I just turned 27. I retired from like manual labor when I was 28. I walked away from it.
Oh wow!
And I did a stint during pandemic, which was like a blessing in disguise. I actually took a real job working in the medical marijuana field.
Yeah,
of all places, because like. It only made sense because, like, I'm a healer. I might as well be healing.
Yeah.
But, boy, I'll tell you what. The medical marijuana situation in Pennsylvania is fucked up. It's fucked up. It's not the Willy Wonka world that I thought it was going to be at all.
Willy Wonka.
I thought I was going to go in there and there's just going to be hipsters in the back singing and dancing, bagging up grams and shit. It was not like that at all. Not like that at all. There was hipsters in the back and shit, but they weren't bagging up grams and like nobody was happy. It was, the Pennsylvania marijuana situation's fucked up. One, it's a vape only state. I'd like to put Tom Wolfe in a fucking headlock and just give this bald motherfucker a noogie real quick. And
do you think that's him? Is it him?
Absolutely. Well, who is it then?
I don't know. I have no idea about it.
He has enough control to make the sign whatever legislator. You can at least, you don't have to make it recreation, but you could absolutely turn this from a vape only state, you fucking cue ball.
Yeah.
I fucking hate anybody that backs him just because of the marijuana stance. They're like, oh, he's trying to make it recreation. Like, did you read the recreation bill? It's the same as the medical bill. We want to grow weed. Like if you're going to make it legal, like,
so if it becomes
why the fuck couldn't I grow aloe next to my fucking weed plant and my tomato plant?
If they're making it recreational, are we allowed to grow weed?
Well, the bill they're trying to get pushed forward is like the same thing. You would have to pay your little $200 a year tax or whatever to be able to grow 6 plants of your own.
Okay,
which is whack. I if we have the power to vote for that, don't vote for that. Let Biden make it federally legal across the boards. Fuck this. I mean,
it's definitely just like a weird, like, I feel like everything is just like such like gray areas.
It's such a gray area. Like you were saying earlier, we were talking about the medical cards. Like, my card expires on May 24th, but like in the state's eyes, it expired April 23rd because that's when I initially filed my paperwork with them. But like the doctor didn't push my shit through. It's weird. I'd be working on the dispensary. Like I said, it was like, it wouldn't be the Willy Wonka road. It wouldn't be like people would come in and high five and be like, yeah, bro, you just sold me the sickest fire. Like, nah, it'd be crackheads and fucking, I called them the Unservables. Like if you're like, I'm sure everybody got like their drug dealer in the world, like, and they're cool. Like, and if you're a drug dealer listening to this, I know this is going to hit you. Like, you're going to be like, I know what this boy's talking about. Like, there's there's people in this world that you just can't communicate with. Yeah. And those are the people, like, they call the Unservables. They call their plugs. They don't answer. These motherfuckers catch the bus, show up to the strip district, fuck my day all up. Yeah. Because they got to pay $20 a gram because they don't have good communication skills with like the world. They got to talk to me. Like, And I'm like, man, I'm not getting paid 20. Like, you act like I'm sound like this is my pack we're working.
So
This ain't a fucking Barksdale corner. It's a Cresco corner.
People were like unhappy, you would say?
Oh my God.
About what though?
Bro, I couldn't, you wouldn't believe the level, like, I thought I was going to be working at this spot. It was going to be like a fucking NBC sitcom. We were all going to be eating RSO, stoned, high-fiving, getting discounts on weed, smoking in the back and shit. Fuck no. It was 99% crackheads and like people like on opioids and shit. We were on the bus route. So like, I don't know, like, when I go to dispensaries, I go to like Monroeville, I go to the Healing Center, and I go to, they just opened a spot right by Yoga Flow on 30, Beyond Hello. And it's like an old bank, dude. It's like the sickest experience. I feel like I'm at home. Like they sell me it and they might like light a joint up while I'm sitting there right here and bullshit with me while they bag it up. Like, but when I would go to Cresco, like it would just be, like when pandemic hit, that was the sickest shit. Like, you get your Toms that are just like, this is fucking America. I'm not wearing a mask. And it's like, bro, I don't want to wear a mask either. But like, here's the problem. You have to put this mask on or you can't come in.
I know.
It's not my rules. Like, I'm not getting paid enough either for this bullshit. Like, if you go in without your mask, I really don't give a fuck either. But like,
yeah, then it weighs on you.
Just like, put your mask. Dude, it was sick.
So that was the closest thing.
I had to quit that job because like every day I had to put, I had to be like fake. I had to, it was like I was a kid again. Like
that was the closest thing you had to a real job.
Well, it was real. I paid taxes.
Well, I mean, that was the closest thing you had to like
in a long, long time. Well, forever technically, since I was like 16 fucking years old. I always worked for myself because just like, I don't know.
Who's going to work harder than yourself?
Yeah, well, one, bet on yourself always because what do you have to lose? What are you going to do? Fucking die? The only way to really lose is to die in this game. And it's a simulation. Like I said, this whole thing's a simulation. And we'll get right back into that now. The more you wake up and realize this is a simulation and the possibilities are endless, they're fucking endless. Like, did you ever play, it's like a role player game to me. Like
GTA?
GTA is a little more advanced than what I was thinking. I never played like Dungeons and Dragons, but
Dungeons and Dragons is dope.
What's Final Fantasy 7? Like, remember Final Fantasy 7?
Never played it in my life.
I never played it either. My fucking dorky neighbor would play it though. But like, the gist of it would be like, man, there's gonna be nerds everywhere. I'm probably gonna fuck the gist of this up. But like, he would go around and he would like acquire more skills and unlock more skills and just level up. Like, I mean, isn't that what life is? You get a better job, you level up, better car, level up. Yeah. It's there.
That's interesting to think about it in that way.
It's there. The CIA says it's there.
So these documents said that?
Bro, I'm going to send you these links to this shit.
Are they credible?
Very credible.
Okay.
I'm going to read them. You want me to read them right now?
No.
Definitely.
These right now.
Whenever you pump like this episode, we'll put the link to that so people could look into this shit.
Yeah, I do want to see it for sure.
But basically the CIA says that that we're all just energy. This is just some weird energy filled, and like the best way to sum it up is it's the Matrix.
The best way to sum it up
I took a deep breath and shit. Like, once you fucking realize that shit and learn to accept it, like,
now
the possibilities are endless. It gets Rick and Morty out here.
Speaking on to like endless possibilities, it's like you have like delved down a very interesting path lately.
I've seen so much Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom shit in the last 3 months of my life that I could say this without a shadow of a doubt. All right. One, I'll never wear fucking real pants again.
What?
Shorts and sweatsuits and whatnot. I'm never wearing pants again. That's out the window.
I know.
And two, I'm never paying fucking taxes again. I mean, I'm going to pay taxes so like they don't take my house and shit. Yeah. But like, I'll be goddamned if I'm going to work like a 9 to 5 and like do what everybody else does. It's fucking stupid. Well, once again, anybody listening to this, don't quit your job and shit because
So-
Yoga Ralph is like,
I'm curious about. So lately, you've gotten into Reiki.
yeah.
And lately, but before we get into the Reiki, I want to know. So before you even did the Reiki stuff, you have got into like wild shit. Like first, you got into the bowls or the gongs.
Dude, I fucking love the gongs. Well, I always go back to my spirit guides are sick, man. They're strong. Like my ancestors are crazy, and whoever my spirit guides are, I don't know them by name yet, but like whoever's pushing me on this path, like they got like Viking strength. I don't know what you want to call it, but like.
So like, have you ever been someone who has been like open to like the idea of weird shit?
No,
Like,
no.
so how do you get?
No,
how do you
not
get
at all.
from being?
If you told me,
Wait.
if you told me-
Pause this for 1 second. Why do you have this piece of wood on the table?
well, one, that's some, that's the bless this motherfucker if you want.
Okay. What
like-
is it though?
Man, I say it's so terrible. Palo Santo. It's
Palo
it's
Santo.
It's like a. I probably fucked that all.
That's
up.
all
It's
right.
like it's like a sage. It's like a wood you burn.
All right.
You know.
I just noticed that
Bless
was here.
shit. Yeah.
We'll get to
I
that.
roll with that always. Like I always roll with that because like when it comes to the Reiki shit, like.
Well, so
you want to make sure shit's pure. That's just a purifying, like just like you would burn like
a
sage,
sage
and incense.
smudge stick.
Yep. But
Now-
this is, I mean, you see it. This, it's
yeah, it
fucking-
looks like some firewood, some fat wood.
That shit's fucking dope. There.
Now, let me ask you this. So it's like, whenever we got into yoga, like yoga is definitely like a different level of like spirituality in my eyes. But you then got me to try the gongs. So
The
gong
gongs?
yoga, for people that don't know what this is, it's not like yoga where you're going through poses. You're literally laying on your back comfy and there's a wall of gongs. There is, what are the bowls called?
Tibetans. I don't know if they're Tibetan singing bowls, but they're singing bowls. I just bought a singing bowl over the weekend. I was like, should I bring it? And I was
should've.
like, man,
That's all
it
right.
would get too weird up in here. Well, one thing I noticed when I bought this singing bowl, I was like, I was looking on Google and shit. I'm like, I wonder how my cats are going to react if I bring this singing bowl in my crib. Because like we hear it in the studio all the time. And the
Yeah.
studio is big as fuck. It's a big open area. Like we're talking about in my living room.
Like the singing bowls
And-
for people that are doing it are the ones that are like, oh,
Yeah. You just run the little fucking wand around and it's like, whoa. But it's nothing but vibration, man. I was reading on Google, it's like, yeah, singing bowl. I was like, the cats will hear it and they'll sit down and enjoy the vibration. Boy, I pulled that shit out. I dung it one time. Like if you just hit it like a bell, it'll vibrate a little bit.
Yeah.
Chalky looked up like, what the fuck? And then I started letting it fucking sing. Boy, I don't even know where they were. They disappeared for like 3 days. Like
Really?
scared as fuck off that shit. I don't know. I was thinking about that, like, because like, who knows? Like they hear way sicker than what we can hear.
Yeah, they hear different.
And that shit's loud. It's so loud that the vibrations like heal you.
So speak to me on that. So like you told me to go to this.
Well, when
gong
I
yoga.
first like when we first talked about it, I didn't get schooled on it how I've been schooled on it.
I know, and that's what I'm
recently,
curious about it because
Like
when
I
you
just
told
knew,
me
I
about
just knew
it
it was a dope experience when I first hit them. But like I said, you're supposed to meet like this journey of life is crazy. You meet people like wizards and witches and shit, and it sounds funny, but it's like, you know, I don't know what else to call a motherfucker. Like when you meet somebody like that.
yeah.
But like,
What happens when you go to this gong
But
yoga?
like,
In your mind, like how do you describe it?
man, it's the only way to describe it is like
Because basically they hit these gongs.
Billy, the gong father, Billy's 70 years old, dude.
He didn't look 70.
Them gongs keep him young, man. I don't know. I give Billy a lot of credit. Billy's a fucking G, man. If you asked me 10 years ago, like, would you be teaching yoga? Would one of your peoples be the 70-year-old dude that eats acid and just be beating the shit out of gongs and shit in his house? I'd be like, nah. But like Billy, I don't know if he got a doctorate in music, but he has like PhD. I don't know what you fucking call it. But
Yeah.
he
got some
paid like
accolades.
40 bands or whatever to get his accolades for his fucking gongs. he knows what he's doing when it comes to the music, and he knows what he's doing when it comes to like the vibrational shit.
Yeah.
And the best way to describe it, like there's like when you went into it, I heard you talking about Quest and shit, and you were like the pitter patter of his feet and shit. And I think about that every day. Like when I go on Tuesdays to turn the lights on when everybody's in Shavasana, and I'm like, man, these motherfuckers just hearing me walking around like Swamp Thing. Like it's so quiet in here, and it's just like it's just my feet walking around. I think about that all the time. I was like, man, I know what he means. Like when Billy walks up with the gongs and shit,
dude, because he stands right by your head. It's like you could literally hear it. Like
some days it's on, some days he's on, some days he's on. I don't know.
But when you go there and they hit that gong, like what? So you the way you described to me was aligning your chakras or cleaning them out.
Well, I mean, I look at it like it's literally the cheat code when it comes to raising your vibration.
What is it? Speak to me. What is vibration?
Well, everything vibrates. Man, it's about to get weird.
I want to know.
Everything vibrates. The earth vibrates. It's like 7.4 hertz or some shit like that is what the hum of the earth is. A lot of flat earthers right now are just breaking fucking boards in half. Like, I can't believe he said some shit like that. But yeah, we spin and this motherfucker hums. I mean, yeah, you have to hug a tree or something like to hear what I'm talking about, like for real. But everything has a vibration.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear the terms good vibes.
Yeah, good vibes.
And you know when someone got bad vibes.
Never thought about that.
I mean, the quickest way, the real cheat code to raise your vibration is to just clap. If you clap, you raise your vibration. Think about any time, think about if you were like Centennial and shit and you just had like a musical and like 80 fucking adults clap for you and shit.
You feel that energy.
You feel that fucking energy.
Yeah.
Like instantly
talking up on a stage for stand up.
It's the quickest way to raise your vibration. Like, I don't know, like if you go to other yoga studios and shit, like when do they clap at the end of class?
Yeah.
Like people always like newbies come to class and shit and they'd be like, you're not applauding me. Like, I did nothing. Like, you're applauding yourself, and it's raising your vibration. Like,
I never understood that.
Quickest way. Boom, boom, boom.
Real quick. Why do they tell you to use your left hand to get up from whenever you're laying on your right side at the end to clean yourself out? They say with your left hand, push yourself up slowly. Why the left hand?
That's probably the easiest way to describe it. But we roll to the right, like at the very end.
Yeah, you roll to the right.
That way, it's like simple digestion. When you lay on your left, like you're not supposed to sleep on your left side. Like when you sleep on your right, it aids in like digestion and shit like that. But the theory is during class, you build all this energy. Your feet on the mat, you pull this energy from the earth. Like whether or not people buy into it, I mean, it's very hard to like explain it. It's very hard for like someone that isn't tuned in to like tune into it. But like the idea is you would like pull energy from the earth. Like you're getting energy from the earth up through your roots and shit while you're doing this yoga. You're building all this energy. At the end of class, you lay back down. You let it digest right back down in your mat.
Yeah.
Back into the earth. If like sometimes I don't even roll over. Sometimes I keep that shit.
But it's a couple different classes. They just randomly said, use your left hand.
That might have just
that's just their flow with it.
Well, to me, just hearing that, I don't even have to open my eyes. I'm up.
Yeah.
They described it perfectly just to safely get up.
Yeah, I guess. But regardless, I was just curious about that.
People do weird shit. I've been going around to different classes. Like outside the yoga flow like system, it's like it's a cult or some shit. Like I've been going to other studios though and seeing how people teach and things like that. And it's like I don't like to compare myself with anybody, but I like to compare how other people's what they consider vinyasas and what they consider what they consider the fucking momentum and flow. Like some of them be sick, some of them be like
whack.
Now,
when like the gong stuff
the gongs, back to the gongs. The best way to do this is there's no way for me really to explain it, but like if you go on YouTube and you or just Google the mathematics of sound and watch this dude. He puts like salt on a gong and he just rubs the outside of it. This fucking salt breaks in the stars. It starts breaking in the flowers of life, depending on the pitch he goes.
Yeah. It's like
And
patterns,
it's like,
natural
dude,
patterns.
That's
that
what
happens.
the fuck is going on the insides. Like, I feel my hair and shit dancing when I'm in the gongs, but like, what's really happening is like your cells are like
Aligning the right way.
dude, they're fucking dancing. Not only that,
Wow.
but like they're doing the fucking tango. And
That's interesting. I
and-
have to try it again.
It's all vibrational. It's everything is open mind. You got to go into it with an open mind. Regardless, you're going to sit there for an hour and let them beat gongs around. You're just going to breathe in and out.
Yeah.
You're going to fucking be relaxed. I fuck around in the gongs. I like the microdose mushrooms. I mean, I'm a weirdo when like there's a full moon or some shit. I won't even microdose. I'll eat like 2 grams of mushrooms and I'll go in there and I will see the vibrations. I'll talk to my inner self. Like I don't know. X-Men are real. Witches and shit are real. That's all I can say. Like, and I look at it like Indiana Jones. Like,
I definitely,
I've been coming across weird characters like Gandalf motherfuckers.
I got to
and,
do
like,
the vibration. I got to
good
do the gong
witches.
yoga again. But now what I'm curious about, because what I don't know anything about is the cacao sessions. So I need you to explain what these are and how they're administered and everything, what you do. Cause I'm super curious about it.
Let me take a sip of water here.
Yeah. Take a sip of that deer park.
And think how I'm going to explain this. I don't know all their names. Dude calls himself the breath alchemist or some shit.
You don't even really need to have names, but
No, you don't need to have names. But dude, Johnny Buffalo. I mean, how do you forget a name like
Johnny Buffalo.
Johnny Buffalo. I mean, the only reason
Is that a person like that's around here?
They're from New York, Buffalo, New York, or something.
They come here though.
They do. They come here. I guess they met him at like an ayahuasca ceremony or some shit, and they're like, "We do this cacao," and like Michelle went to this cacao or whatever. It's like the main idea is it's a heart opening ceremony.
So you go to the yoga studio.
Yeah, you go to the studio.
How do you?
I don't know if all ceremonies are like this, but the way they run the ceremony would be like,
how do you ingest the cacao?
we would do like a half hour gentle movements real quick just to warm up. Then they would come in with they melt the cacao, I guess, with butter. All love. It's all love and gypsy shit. I don't know what they put in it. I taste a little bit of maple, a little bit of cayenne. Dude, it's fire. When I try to make hot chocolate with this shit,
Yeah.
nowhere near as bomb as what they do. But when I make hot chocolate with this, I'm like the worst judge of this. When I make hot chocolate with this, I don't drink coffee, so take this with a grain of salt. But when I drink that shit, it's like giddy up.
Yeah. Giddy up.
It's like espresso. If you put just shave a little piece of that in your coffee, you're going to be on fucking point. But,
Well, so you said they melted all.
they melt it all down and they make it into this drink or whatever.
Okay. So you drink it.
They pass the drink around or whatever.
How much do you drink of it? You think?
Like 8 ounces, maybe.
Oh, okay, like a full
decent
serving
amount.
one.
I mean,
Okay.
you're gonna have to piss after
Okay.
when it's all said and done.
And then what do you do?
Now, see, it varies. I just went on Sunday and it got a little strange. Not to knock them, because like sometimes in life you need to be put in an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
It was mad motherfucking uncomfortable. Mad motherfucking uncomfortable. This uncomfortability has only happened to me twice in my whole spiritual journey. One of these times was at Irwin Yoga on the 3rd. This lady, Rosalind, she called herself the Light. I don't remember what her fucking last name was, but she had the audacity to call herself the Light. So you know where she's coming from. Like,
Yeah.
when I would go to Irwin, like, I got lucky with that. We talked about this. I went in there. This lady, Diane Biller, opened up this spot, Yoga on the 3rd. It would be me and 2 other motherfuckers in this yoga class. And it was cozy, and it was to the point, like 3 people in there. You have no choice but to correct my fucking posture. There's no way around it. there's not 30 people in the room. Like,
yeah, so you're
there's
giving
just
attention
me,
to
like,
everyone.
Yep, mad attention. But like there was like 4 of us in the classes one day, and there was like this dude. He was like 50 years old, typical fucking stereotypical. Like I hate to say it, like I wish there was more yogis like me, like when it comes to the men shit. But like you already know, stereotypical dude. Like I wear yoga pants and shit, but I at least wear hoop shorts over him. This dude was raw dogging it, just dick out in his fucking yoga pants. But the light was like, we're going to do this little practice or whatever. And we're going to sit and we're going to stare into each other's left eyes while holding fucking hands. Like, dude, it was mad fucking weird. And
Jeez.
there was only 4 of us. Like she lines me up with this dude. I'm like, you would line me up with this dude. Like you can at least put a girl in front of me. Let me stare in her fucking, because they say like your left eye is the window to your soul. And like, I'm like,
You're that was the soul
first,
of this old
that
guy.
was the first time I was ever like truly uncomfortable in like a yoga class. And like, if that would have been my first class, not only would I have not showed back up, I might have talked mad shit. Like I might have been like, yoga's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Like, but normally in the count, we drink the shit or whatever. This time.
Wait. So you looked into this guy's left eye.
Oh yeah, for like the whole shavasana or whatever you wanted, shavasana,
and that was weird.
Mad fucking weird. Well, we had to hold hands.
Oh
like,
my god!
Like if the people can see this, like patty cake your hands real quick, or like if you play like the hot cold game, like put your hands on top of my hands.
hot hands.
We just sat there for like 5 minutes and had to stare in each other's left eyes. Meanwhile, he's wearing his fucking underwear and shit. Like, and it's not even like hot yoga. This was like the codes. Like I would wear like long sleeves and shit.
Yeah.
But,
I wore like a zip up like polo today. First time I ever wore like anything besides just like a cutoff, because I was like, I want to sweat. Like I need to sweat.
I went to the cacao on Sunday, and they pulled that shit. They pulled an audible. Well, the first time when Michelle described it to me, I didn't know what to expect. She's like, they're going to be walking around.
How many did you do?
Singing flutes and shit. This was my 3rd time. And I'm like, singing flutes and shit. I'm like, that don't sound like my fucking bag of tea or whatever. She's like, just keep an open heart. And I'm like, worst case scenario, I'll just fucking roll my mat and sneak out the back.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul. Take my $40.
Yeah.
You know, thanks for the cup of chocolate.
Yeah.
But man, I went and it was fucking dope. We drank the cacao. The first time we drank the cacao and shit, he fucking talked about like hummingbirds and shit. It was mad spiritual and shit. He got mad fucking deep.
Are you doing like movements?
Once you start drinking it, you're just sitting.
Oh, okay.
I just sit back. I just start to lay down. We end up doing Wim Hof breathing.
Yeah, I know
and
who
it's
that
controlled Wim Hof breathing for like, I don't even know how
that
long.
motherfucker's a gangster.
Dude, he's a fucking G. He's
Wim
a
Hof
fucking
is
G.
a gangster.
He's a fucking G, dude. He's a fucking G. If you don't know who Wim Hof is,
You got to look him up. He has like,
he's a fucking savage.
he'll just be sitting in, -degree water, just breathing very easily.
He's the primacy. Well, there's nothing I like more than like, I always call it turning tragedy into triumph. Like,
Yeah.
tragedy happens. Trauma happens. I mean, trauma is something like, everybody got trauma. Trauma is fucking generational, like fucking heart disease runs in your family.
Yeah.
Generational trauma is passed down through your fucking genes. Like, man, the weird shit with the shamans. Like, I know you're gonna ask me about like shaman talk.
Well, what happens with the cacao? You got to go back and tell
back
me
to
that.
the cacao. We normally we drink the shit and we would just lay down and do Wim Hof breathing. The first time I did it, I was in like, I never got that deep into my breathing and meditation to like, I was almost astral projecting, if you call it.
Yeah.
Like if you ever seen Half Baked when they smoke the weed and then they just float out of their body and go see their boy in jail. I was doing that. I was like at Sheets on Route 30 and then like, I feel like I got sleep apnea. I tell people this shit all the time. Like I'm the worst meditator ever because I feel like I got sleep apnea. I'm always like, that always fucking happens. I hit one of those,
bro.
Boom! I popped right back into my body, and I just looked around. I'm like,
let me tell you this.
Fucker's shirtless and shit. We're just sweating, and dude's just like breathe.
Let me tell you
in,
this real quick.
Breathe out. He's like, It was, man, the cacaos are sick, but last week I wanted to say we did the same shit. They're like line up with a stranger and look in each other's eyes.
Oh, wow.
We ain't touch hands or nothing. Same thing. I get stuck with this dude on the end. It was mad funny though. Like, dude, we made the best of a bad situation. Not only that, but homeboy fucking looked me up on he looked me up on Instagram and friended me, and I was about to be like, oh shit, I just followed him back. I'm like, why not? Because like, they were like, he was like, he made us look in each other's eyes or whatever, and they were like, there's like 30 of us in the room.
Yeah.
And I thought he meant like talk mentally. Like I was just going to look in his eyes and he's going to think this shit, and I was just going to, because he's like partner B doesn't say nothing, partner A talks, and they're like, partner A, what mask do you wear in the world and shit? And he like, I'm like, man, that's a weird question. Like, because he thought the same shit I thought.
Yeah.
Because like, one, I don't fucking wear a mask. Like, that's the whole thing. I'm like, I'm way too real. But then I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess like I'm on this spiritual journey, but like, I really want to do some gangster shit instead. Like,
yeah.
But I don't know. It was
cool though.
It was cool. It was mad awkward.
How long are the sessions?
That shit was like I didn't get home till like 4:00. It was from like 1 to 4.
Oh, okay.
Normally it's like 3 hours, but like normally it was not that awkward. That shit was awkward. Sometimes though, it's cool. I think it's cool to get, that makes you name of the game is get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Feel vulnerable. So you bought your own cacao. Like, where do you buy this at?
I buy it off of them. It's like,
okay.
Rising Spirits cacao.
And it's legal to have?
Yeah, it's just fucking dark chocolate.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
I treat it, I hype it up like it is like cartel grade and shit.
Yeah.
Like boys show up with like a duffel bag filled with.
I know, like, I didn't know if you were like, oh, I can get it.
No,
like,
yeah, you can get it. You could order, I think it's a kilo for $40. And it's wrapped in like newspaper and shit with their little stamp on it.
That's crazy.
I bought it. I literally have like two servings left out of the first brick I bought. I bought the first brick. I think the first time they came around was in December. So it lasted me.
These boys just got bricks.
They didn't have. Well, this is what they said this time. They've been having trouble getting it through customs, and he was like, "They'll be there this week." So I'm about to order it this week. It's Rising Spirits cacao. I mean, look it up.
I'll definitely look it up.
I don't remember these boys' names because like.
Buffalo Joe,
Johnny Buffalo, but like I don't remember their like
real names.
They're like where to get at them on the internet.
So
Johnny Buffalo, you'll find this motherfucker. He got a ponytail. He said like what caught my eye. I was like, oh, this dude's a fucking G. Was he said this Method Man line, and I was like, dude,
wow.
I'm like, bro. Goddamn well, I'm the only dude in the universe of yoga that would like. Know where that fucking came from. Like
that's dope though.
It's so dope. I was like, this dude's all right. Then he started beatboxing and shit. And I'm like, this dude, that's crazy. While we smoked the joint and cleaned up and shit, I'm like, this dude is mad fucking cool. Like, them dudes are sick. I feel like, them dudes got a little. They got a little gig going. Like, you might want to fucking talk to them.
I would like to go try it out for sure.
Drink some chocolate.
I would like to go try it out for sure.
I mean, when she described it, like I said,
it sounds crazy.
With fucking flutes and shit. But like I'm laying there and shit, and it reminded me of like a peyote trip and shit. Like I was in the desert. He hit that flute, and I was like, that's a fucking real flute. Like what the fuck?
So you were talking about how like you might have sleep apnea. I know that this is kind of off track, but
that's the number one thing that started me on the weight loss journey. I was like, man,
I'm telling you,
with no fucking breathing
listen,
machine.
I got a breathing machine. I've been using it since December.
Yeah.
It's life changing. It 1,000,000% changes your life, changes your way of sleeping. Because so to put it in perspective, whenever I was sleeping, I was having 24 interruptions per hour.
My mom and dad both had.
So 24 per hour is like, almost every 2 minutes, I'm like kind of like snoring and breathing and like waking myself up. So the lady was like, you basically just have never been able to like have real rest because you're not getting into REM sleep. Let me tell you that after I started using this mask and like being able to get a full night's rest, physically how I feel is absolutely insane. But I've had the most lucid, insane dreams I've ever had in my entire life.
I fucking love.
I'm talking like the wildest dreams I've ever had in my life.
We're in a fucking simulation, man.
I know, it's bizarre. It felt like they were real.
Well, what's the difference?
I don't know. I guess there is no difference, but
1/3 of your life is.
That's an interesting thing, though. Like
dreaming.
You don't have to be fat to have sleep apnea. I found out.
No, it's just bah humbug.
But you should check it out because it will change the way that you feel.
Well, I don't feel like I have it. The only time I fuck my sleep up, I barely sleep anymore. This is something that just happened to. I don't know if it came with tuning in the spirituality more or whatever.
Yeah, because that's what I want to get into next.
I don't fucking sleep no more. I'll fall asleep on the couch at like 9 o'clock watching TV. I'll be up at midnight. I'll drag up the bed up 3 a.m. Like it's on. What am I supposed to fucking do? Like, what do you do at 3 a.m. and shit?
Well,
I just be scrolling through Facebook and like, I'd be like, damn, there'd be a lot of motherfuckers on here too.
I know, right?
Bitching about how lame they're like I fucking hate Facebook too. Like that's the worst. Like you couldn't think of anything worse to do at 3 a.m.
I know than go on there.
Go on fucking. I should just go to Walmart, but like you can't even do that no more with the fucking pandemic shit.
I know, it's ridiculous.
They close at like 8 o'clock. Like,
so you, after this cacao stuff and you getting into all that and like kind of like, you got into this more spiritual, way of living, which is like Reiki and shit. So how do you describe Reiki?
Well, we talked about the Reiki. I thought Reiki was something. I thought it was something completely different than when I actually went for my first lesson of it. I thought Reiki was, I love telling this story because it's like one of the wildest stories of how this shit came about. Game changer. This shit changed like my whole perspective on things. 2019, I'm fucking around, jump on Tinder. Fucking lonely months or whatever. Jump on Tinder. I run into this. Let me just say, Tinder is fucking weak. I need to feel your vibration before I fucking holler at you. For real, like I need to know. Like
I miss Tinder. I've never used it. I missed it.
I mean, it's if you wanna go. What do they say? Sow your royal oats or whatever. Like yeah, but like if you, I'm not big on like random sex. I'm not cool with that.
Yeah. Gotta have
I don't like to shake a motherfucker's hand. I don't like to give my energy away because like I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not hyping myself up or nothing, but like I got the fucking touch. Like these hands are registered fucking spiritual weapons. Like yeah. I don't know. It sounds weird, but
I mean it's not weird, but it's like
real though.
Like, but tell me what it is.
But I met this girl, Brittany, and like we started talking on there and it was like, I just started teaching yoga or whatever. I'm talking about yoga. She's like, yeah, I do. Like she's telling me she's a shaman. And I'm like, I'm barely got my foot in the pond on yoga. Like I've been to fucking floated a few times, ate mushrooms, mad fucking, that mushrooms don't count. That's just like life lessons. But like I've been on, I just started dipping into like the spiritual shit where it was like, I started recognizing mindfulness, but she's like normally, like I would never in my fucking life, never, ever, ever, ever be like, yo, here's my address, come through to a fucking stranger ever. Like, I'm like, no man robs the spot. Like, it's like belly out that motherfucker. Like, rude boy, like, dundada. Like, I got AKs. Like, I'm still spiritual and shit, but like, I still got the hardware everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, 10 years ago, I thought I was a fucking hardcore gangster. For real. That's why I always say the OG in yoga, like, I came from a different environment. It's like, it's weird. Raw.
It's raw.
But she's like, I do access bars. And for like 2 years, I forgot what access bars was. And for some reason, I matched it up with Reiki. I'm like, that was what Reiki was.
She just kicked a verse real quick.
But she, something just told me the universe was like, do it. I'm like, all right, come through. She's like, yeah. She's like, we'll do the access bars or whatever. And we were going to eat some mushrooms and do it. I was like, cool. We'll do some mushrooms, do those access bars. She comes through. We eat the mushrooms. She starts rubbing my fucking head. Like, And I kid you not, like 5 minutes into it, I don't know what she was doing, but she was rubbing my head and it was giving me, like, I guess you would call it a lucid dream, but it wasn't a lucid dream because I was wide fucking awake. And like, I felt like it was a flashback. I felt like I went and saw my last life. And I've been told by 2 shamans that I've lived 2 lives. This is my second life. And in this flashback I was a Native American woman on this reservation. And I was a fucking healer. Like I was like the medicine person or whatever. And like, I'm watching this shit while she's rubbing my head. And I'm like, yeah, these fucking mushrooms, man. They're fucking really kicking in.
Yeah.
And I guess like whenever I would, like, I'm a fidgety motherfucker. I guess when I would cross my arms or whatever, it would like block the energy or whatever. And she would like, I don't know what she's doing. She's up above me, her eyes closed like a fucking, like some X-Men shit. Like it's like her hair is like static electricity standing up and shit, rubbing my head. And when it's all over and shit, she describes what I saw to me. And I was like,
what?
Dude, I was like, what? And I was like, let me get this straight. Like, I was like, you've seen my dream. Like, and then she started telling me weird shit, like that nobody in their right, things that like, I don't even really accept that. Like I've doggled in my mind and shit. Like she starts telling me all this weird shit, like how I'm the last of the bloodline, which is fucking true. Like at the time it wasn't true, but I knew it was true. I had a nephew, I had a nephew, Joey, who passed away in August. He had real bad epilepsy, would take seizures all the time. He was a little autistic. But when I think about that, I think of that as like a superpower. I think there's a giant stigma on mental health. Like people call it like mental health.
Yeah.
I think it's just people vibe different. Like, I mean, I'd be like, yo, Joe, pass the salt and shit. And it wasn't that he didn't hear me or didn't listen. It's that he just didn't give a fuck. That's what was great about it. Like his vibration was high. Like I feel like he wasn't supposed to be in this dimension type shit. But,
yeah.
I forget where I was going with that, but
you were talking about the way she was saying things, like
but she was like, "You're the last of the bloodline." He was technically the last of the bloodline, the last male Martino, like And she's like, "Your energy's so fucking high because you should." She's like, "You're supposed to have 4 kids." She's like, "You should have had them by now." And I'm like, "That's kind of weird." And she's like, she tells me all this shit, and then she tells me about like the bloodline and shit. And I'm like, there's no way you could possibly know that because like, it's not even in effect yet. This was like, she told me this 2 years before it happened, like you're the last male heir or whatever. And I had a feeling, cause I'm like, you know, he's autistic or whatever. I was like, he probably isn't going to have another male son or whatever.
Yeah.
A good chance of it not happening. But when she told me that, I'm like, man, that's fucking true. And then, she started talking to me about like my cat. She put her hands on my cat and like performed Reiki on my cat. And she started telling me how my cat was, how like we've been traveling. Like, I guess my cat was like one of these other long-haired motherfuckers in this dream next to me. And she's like, I recognize this cat. This cat's been traveling with you. She told me it was my fucking soulmate. She told me Chalky's my soulmate, which is funny, which is kind of believable. I mean, when you think about it, like, does it really matter if you marry your soulmate or whatever? You might marry somebody you love or whatever, but like,
but it's
your
a different bond.
It's there.
That's what you bond with.
And who knows? I feel like
Chalky's a black cat?
Yeah, she's an all black cat. Yeah. The muse. I'm the fucking, well,
I know that like you post videos of like her like dapping you up and stuff.
Well, yeah, that cat's a fucking G, man. She's, we definitely been rock. Like when she said that, I was like, we definitely like
been through some
I
shit.
know this cat. I know this soul. Like, I know what you mean. She's like, yeah. She's like the sacrifice. Like, well, I was telling you when I first got the Reiki shit and messages and shit, I was like, I don't really want to put hands on people. But I'm very interested in putting them on animals and shit. because I know their secrets. Like, I feel like I know their secrets, man.
Yeah, the first thing you said to me whenever this was all going on, you told me the story about that chick rubbing your head and like you being able to see shit like that, and then you told me that you said that you want to do this to animals, and then you said, call me next time you got a headache, because I think I'm going to be able to get it over the phone. And I was like, I laughed, and Antoinette was like, what are you laughing at? And I was like, Ralph just like, because she is very open to
I
like
told
the idea
so many
of
people
things.
that same shit. I'm like, yeah, like they say level 2, I could just call you up and bless you real quick. Well,
It just reminds me of them like preacher videos that you see.
That's why I say, well, we talked about this heavy, because I was like, well, what she did to me, that access bars or whatever, that fucking, I had the lucid dream and shit. I mean, mushrooms aside, mushrooms only let me get deeper into that, but that was real. That was a real life experience. I seen some weird shit that forever changed my perspective on energy alone. Like, and when the CIA says we're fucking this is just like some
starts to piece together,
just some fucking grid, like, and it's free for all. Figure it out. Figure it out. Like,
it's wild to think about that.
She after that, so like I'm highly interested in Reiki. You messaged me, you came up and you were like, you know John Quest. John Quest is doing yoga or whatever. And it dawned on me, I'm like, I don't really know John Quest, but we're friends on Instagram or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, Jeremy Butts dropped his name to me. He was like, you fucking vibe with this dude. He's a Reiki master or some shit. And I'm like, all right. I seen it on a story too. I'm like, yeah, he's doing yoga or whatever. I'm like, I'm gonna hit this boy up with a message. I'm like, yo, you're a Reiki master, right? And he's like, yeah, we get to talking or whatever. And I tell him the same shit. I'm like, yeah, this lady rubbed my fucking head or whatever. And he's like, yo, yeah, that's wild. He's like, that's not necessarily something that always happens, but like could have happened. So I'm thinking like, all right, yeah, like that was Reiki. I'm going to learn Reiki. And I was talking to like Dom, the owner of Yoga Flow, and she's like, yeah, we're going to turn shit into a wellness center. We're going to put a salt cave in the basement. We're going to start doing Reiki massages. And I'm like, yeah, I know a dude who does Reiki. And I told her, I was like, check him out or whatever. But a couple months go by and she's like, yeah, we got Reiki classes lined up if you want to get certified. I'm like, hell yeah. I go in. How
much is a Reiki class?
Man, the spiritual Kool-Aid game is sick, bro. We're going to get into that. I'll save that for a little bit.
All right.
I don't fucking really have an answer for that. I paid $300 for the first time I took level 1. I took level 1 twice, not because I'm dumb and flunked it, but because, just because I didn't feel the vibe was right. And definitely.
How long is the class?
Dude, the first class was only like a few hours because it was me, Dom, and Dom brought her daughter, which was dope. I'm so glad her daughter was there because she broke the tension because it was fucking. So it was weird. It was weird. I felt like I was in. Man, I felt like I was in a Tupperware party. I don't know what the fuck you call it. Think about that dumbass that just hit you up on Facebook, like, "Hey, I got this fucking drink you should drink every morning."
Yeah, right.
And then you could start selling it to your friends. I felt like that's what I fucking stumbled into. And she mentioned like 7 times during the Reiki ceremony that she was an airborne. You ever
Arbonne?
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to that was the whole focus of my pyramid scheme episode that I did.
Bro, I felt like
she was an Arbonne person.
I felt like Arbonne certified her possibly, and
she was talking about her being an Arbonne person.
She name dropped it like 8 times that I went home and Googled it, and I'm like, and it all made sense because I was like, because I immediately hit you because we talked about this shit because I'm like Houdini. I'm like, man, I feel like psychics are full of shit. I feel like there's a lot of bullshit out here. And I was like, I feel like the Reiki, I feel like boys is faking the funk out of it. And I was like, well, I'm going to go check it out. And after that, I was like, man, it's definitely a Ponzi scheme. Like I said, I swear I texted you. I wrote it. She told us to write some shit in a journal, like how you feel. And what I wrote in my journal was like, I don't feel.
This is booty.
I was like, I feel like I got hustled. This is only going to get me laid when I go to the bar and tell a girl, like, let me give you an energy massage real quick. And like, so, but like, well, that's a different story because like what led me into the energy work is I'm an extreme empath. I discovered this when I was like 25. It like really dawned on me that like when I said before, like I don't just have random sex with people and shit. Like I have to fucking have a connection. Like I have to know, not that you're gonna fucking not that you're clean or whatever, but like that your fucking aura is clean. Like don't lay no fucking shit on me. Don't put no fucking don't drop no fucking like
demons inside me.
Don't drop a body on me. Like for real. Cause I mean shit, I've seen some shit, man. I've seen fucking things come out of people. Like exorcism type shit, like poltergeist.
That's crazy.
But when you think about it, like if we're all energy and it's a never ending energy, who knows? That's weird. I get real weird about shit. Cause like for my whole life, like I love Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters is my shit, but are ghosts real? No, fucking no, not a chance. But like
100% I've seen a ghost.
You asked me about this. We talked like 2 years ago. Like you were like, you believe in ghosts? I'm like, fuck no. I never seen a ghost. I never seen a ghost because I wasn't fucking looking for a ghost.
Yeah.
Once I started like dabbling into the energy work, not that it's like cool like Ghostbusters shit, like Slimers rolling around my house.
You're talking about like some Haley Joel Osment shit.
But like if I pull some energy, like what do we do? You know? Yeah. It's somebody's grandmother, right?
Yeah.
When you really think about it.
Yeah.
I'm not, I mean, there's people that like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm big on this. Like if anybody who listens to this knows me, if I don't shake your hand, it's because I don't shake nobody's hand. I'm not with that. I feel like, guard your motherfucking energy. Like if you want a hug from me, like you either need that motherfucker or like I want to give it to you type shit. Like, yeah. But like I don't know. I just don't. I don't hold babies either. That's the fucking weirdest
I don't hold babies
because it's like I don't know. I don't want to transfer no energy to them. It's weird.
It's all right.
It's weird.
Energy is an interesting thing.
The best way to describe it is when I say the X-Men shit, like I'm like Rogue from the X-Men. And my superpower is like extreme empathy. Yeah. Like if you're having a bad day, I could just take it from you. And the thing I thought I was going to learn, like the thing about Reiki, like I was hoping to learn, like, all right, this shit's on. Like, how do we work it? Like, all right, I'm able to pull energy and I'm able to give people my vibe. Like when I come in to I'm like, you know, like I could roll into a funeral like Rodney Dangerfield real quick. Like, hey, and everybody be like, for like a couple minutes, you know, boys stop crying for a second. Yeah. It's, I'm not trying to gloat like I'm special or anything, but like, I don't know.
This Reiki kind of,
it's weird. Reiki. I always thought I had a weird touch and I described it as Rogue from the X-Men. Like, yeah, like I can't fucking shake your hand. Like I'll hit you with a fist bump real quick because that's just a poof. But like, if I put my hand on you, that's, you know, if you're having a bad day, you might have fucking ruined my whole day.
We shook hands outside.
Not only, well, yeah, I trust you. You're my peoples, but like, I mean, it's weird. Like if I'm forced to shake your hand in like a business meeting or some shit, I'll give you like a limp wristed fucking, and it's like, it's weird because
I get it though. Like it's interesting to think about that. And I feel that like some people might hear it and think like, oh yeah, it's some weird shit. But it's also like, you know, people just aren't open-minded to the idea of energy because that's 100% a real thing. You could tell if someone gives you bad vibes or if they give you good vibes. And immediately.
Like I said, it's all this whole world is vibration. It's just a fucking, I wish there was like a bell I wish I had a bowl, I'd fucking ding it. That's all it is. It's just fucking ding.
What do you mean? Like this one right here?
On the real, you should hit that at least like 4 more times before we wrap this up.
I know. Ain't that sick?
Just randomly drop that Undertaker gong for no reason, just
Gangster.
out of respect. Oh, hell yeah.
You already know. Do it again.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm on a different level up in this place.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Now, I did have...
But I always felt like I had the touch. I always felt like I had the touch. It was weird. Good luck, Chuck, or whatever. Everybody that's ever come in contact with me and has become like close that I actually let in, they all end up on a spiritual journey. It's fucking madness. If I ever fucked you, you became a yoga teacher.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm bragging or anything, but it's just like, I don't know. People just, when you get to open, like if you're just open to things, like it's there.
I think it's so sick that you were like, I wish I had some sort of a bell or a gong. And
I know
was
that
like,
made my fucking day. That made my fucking day. I hope like YouTube don't flag it and shit for like copyrights.
No, that'll be all good. But, you know, it's interesting because like you've definitely, you know, it's like you almost like, it's almost like you see like a weird little like hobbit door and there's like some bushes and some brush in front of it. And you kind of like, you know, pulled all that away, like somewhere sick and Renzi, like you just pulled back a bush and there was like a hobbit door back there. But it's interesting because it's like
float tank.
you open it up to being like some sort of like possibility. And it's like, it's interesting because it gets inside me enough to be interested, to want to, because, you know, I talked about it on here on the last podcast, like, you know, I turned 30 and I immediately became more in touch with like mortality and like, you know, wanting to like think about my life. But
that's the one thing I see about Facebook every day. It's not like congratulations. It's like, oh, so and so died.
Yeah,
that's all it fucking is.
And it's such a shame. But
it is. It's a shame. It is. But I mean, it's life. And my fucking outlook on it is like...
Yeah, you definitely have a different one. Like, I read a post the other day from you, and it said, the universe is cheering, go, Ralph, go. And I don't even know where I'm going yet, but I'm excited to go. And dude, like that like gives me I've never been someone who's been like, you know, I've never taken like motivation from like celebrities and stuff because they're so like far removed kind of, but you know, you like posting that shit, it just makes it seem like an attainable goal because you're, you know, someone who's in my circle. I see you like doing this, but then it's like I try to, you know, to be devil's advocate, I also fuck myself by like thinking like, you know, like eating like shit and not working out or anything like that. And I swear the other day I heard this. Okay. Listen to what I heard.
I do what I hate to do, but I do it like I love it. And that's discipline. Without discipline, you're nothing. Because without discipline, the slightest struggle you give in.
So, I mean, whenever I heard that, I like almost like teared up.
I know. I love it. I'm shaking. I fucking, well, that's just the fucking streets in me. Like,
and it made me think like, why are you being like such a piece of shit? And then I started thinking like, you know, the only reason I have been is because like, you know, I just make excuses. Like, you know, I would just make excuses like, oh, I'll do it then. Oh, I can't go to the gym or whatever. Like not enough time, you know, the dog or whatever.
Well, the gym is just like a percentage of it. That to me is like a hobby. Some people like the golf. I don't fucking fuck with the golf. I'll fish here.
You're missing out.
Am I?
Golf is the most next to yoga and shit. It's the most.
Well, that's what I do with my spare time. I'm either doing yoga or I'll go hit the weights real quick. But that's just like my hobby. I feel like the main thing that people need to focus on, the whole world needs to fucking focus on, if anything over the last year has said anything, but like squares, Big Macs and shit, like will fucking kill you. You're number one in line to get the vaccine if you're like old and overweight and shit and you're a square smoker. They're about to fucking ban Newports.
I saw that.
That's the craziest shit ever.
Yeah, that's crazy. Banning menthol cigarettes.
Well, I think it's crazy. Well, as a non-smoker, I fucking hate
Cigarettes.
I hate cigarettes. I
are
hate
the
fucking
worst.
flavored blunts too. They should have banned flavored blunts. They should have never made them. Philly should have kept that. Philly should have kept a trademark on it. Like there's only chocolate or vanilla blunts.
It is wild to think about that as far as like, you know, there was a period of time where I like smoked cigarettes heavy.
I smoked cigarettes when I was younger.
And it's just like, I think about that now and it's like,
And then like, well, discipline comes to people in so many factors. Like with me, it was mortality. It was like, I was burying my family left and right. And it was like, yo, you're next. Like, And,
what was your biggest weight?
I don't even know what my biggest weight was.
Like,
but
were you
when I
above
started-
350?
No, I don't think I was that big. Maybe 315 at the most. I used to carry it well.
Yeah.
Gravity showed me like mad love. I carried it well. I feel like I'm.
How tall were you? 5'10"?
Yeah, I'm only 5'10".
I mean, 5'10", 315, like you were pretty portly.
And, I was taking up some space. To say the least.
Taking up some space.
To say the least, I was taking up some space. I mean, I'm not light right now. I'm 240 pounds. Like that's like.
Yeah, but you're
like,
in an athletic shape.
Yeah, I'm like Scott Hall out here.
Like Scott Hall.
I'm like I call it the SpongeBob. I'm built like SpongeBob. But like I dare you to try to move me.
Yeah. But it's you're also out there like running and like
I am. I got very, very, very like you would never expect someone.
You
like
run a
me
lot now?
Every day. Every fucking day.
Like how far a day?
I 40 minutes. I got 40 minutes, man.
Like
40
like
minutes.
how long do you usually get, you think?
The game plan, the mind frame is 40 minutes or 4 miles, whatever comes first. I usually could hit the 4 miles. I'm fucking heavy right now. I be running and like I feel like that extra 10, 15 pounds of quarantine weight bouncing on my back and shit. I run like 4 miles in like 37 minutes. And
That's
like,
pretty good though.
I used to run miles in like 6 minutes. When I was like 190, when I was like really in the going through the motions of like losing weight and was just like hungry, like that Mike Tyson, like I wanted in.
Yeah.
Now that I'm like,
you've been there.
I've been there.
It's
and
like,
now it's like, man,
it's cool. You've been
held
there.
the belt, but like to maintain it is hard to maintain.
Yeah.
I still run. I feel like that's my addiction. I feel like,
running.
yeah. I don't do drugs. I'm not I smoke pot and I'll fuck around with psychedelics and shit. But like, I'm not a pill person. I got a very, very, very big like beef with pharmaceuticals. And it starts, I could trace everything in my life that's gone wrong or like bad qualities that I've come up with in my life back to fucking pharmaceuticals. When I was in first grade, I went to Catholic school. I went to MCC. Shout out to any alumni from McKeesport Central Catholic. Like everybody talks about like the Catholic Church being like all fucking weird and shit. I want to take this time out to say fucking nuns. Like you always hear about like priests molesting boys and shit, but like these no dick
We're just
getting,
mean.
These no fucking sex having nuns would just beat the fuck out of me for no reason. But when I was in first grade, the principal, Sister Dolores, like, man, I would get paddled every fucking day. I would not do my phonics book. Go fuck yourself. Like, you serious?
Phonics.
Like, you remember the phonics book?
Yeah, hooked on phonics.
But like, they sent me to my doctor and they recommended Ritalin. For ADD or whatever. Like, me, does it seem like I'm hyperactive or I have attention deficit disorder?
Not really.
Fuck no. But when I think about that, like it took me 30 some years to like realize like the damage that shit did to me on like a spiritual level. I mean, if I went to the doctor and was like, yo, I'm fucked up with this, they'd be like, yeah, your thyroid's fucked up. But my thyroid's not fucked up. What happened was they took my voice from me when I was a little kid. I always think about that. Like, imagine, like I took Ritalin from first grade to fifth grade. I took myself off it in fifth grade, and I can remember. My memory is as sharp as a tack. I can remember everything except for fifth grade. I can't tell you who my fifth grade teacher is without pulling out a yearbook. I know she was some non-getting dick nun who would fucking beat my ass probably all the time. But I don't remember like 5th grade, because probably I went through like a hard withdrawal and shit.
Something weird.
And my whole life I was real skinny, and then I went to 6th grade and I just gained all that weight. And like, you know, if Western medicine would have been like, yeah, your thyroid or something's fuced up. Because when you look at me like Western medicine, they would probably say like my thyroid's fucked up. But like, those are the things that
I give you fat-free food.
Like when I talk to when I say I talk to like my higher self, those are the answers that come to me. It's like, yo, it's like you had a weird relationship from like, just from that. Just, I always think about it. Imagine if I wasn't silenced, where my creativity would be at. I was basically silenced for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Just drugged up or whatever. You'll hear a lot of people talk shit about Ritalin. Like, yeah,
100%.
my parents put me on fucking Ritalin. And like, that's the one problem. Like, I feel like that's the one, like, it's weird. I have a thought. You can hear it in my voice. My voice is fucking raspy. And it's not because I smoke like a bunch of joints. It's not because I'm smoking a joint and shit. It's like, I don't know. There's an energy clog. My energy's flowing so sick through all my chakras, but when it hits my throat, it bottles up like a Coke bottle, and it just doesn't push through. And it all stems back to that. That's because when I think about it, they took my fucking doctor, my mom. They all had parts of it. Like
yeah,
it was
they all had parts
like
of
I was JFK and shit. But it was mainly, I just mainly blame it on medicine. Like that shit fucked me up. Who knows what my self-esteem would have been like growing up without it. Maybe I wouldn't have been like the fat fucking kid or whatever. Maybe I would have been like.
Were you like someone who had like issues with yourself being fat? Like for me, like I'm very, I don't think I've ever like talked about it, but it was such like it's like I was used to it because all through middle school, all through high school, I was like, you know, just a fat kid.
You
know what I mean?
It is what it is. You know?
Yeah, but it's like, it's so crazy. Like, think of how crazy this is. I have a stand-up bit that I was like working on of it, but in high school, during swimming class, I was the kid who wore a t-shirt.
Well, I always used to joke about that. I remember Sacco tried to rip on me when we were little. He was like, well, you probably wear a t-shirt in the pool. And I was like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. The t-shirt really, like, what gave it away? Like, oh, you didn't know I was fat until I took my shirt off? Like, what gave it away? My fucking t-shirt?
Think about that. Like, in high school, it's like, I know. I think about that all the time. It's like, and it's the worst because it's like back then, you know, I had every opportunity to be skinny. I was playing football, or I was playing, you know, sports, being healthy and trying to be healthy. But it's like, I wore that in there and it was just like such like a weird dynamic. Like my mental, like I always like wore like compression shirts under my shirts to like try to just like do that. And it was always just like definitely a very, very apparent thing for me. And I never like felt comfortable in my own body. I was always friends with skinny kid. I was always like the fat friend. You know what I mean? And it was just like, it was interesting because I don't know, like I went through a period of time where I lost a bunch of weight and I felt great and I looked good and everything like that. And then I gained weight back. And it's just like, you know, the way I think about myself now, I don't really give a fuck what other people think about me, but it's like back then I thought about it all the time. Were you someone that was like that?
Well, I mean, I call them the Veltri sausage tits. I got fucking man boobs or whatever you want to call them. I don't know. I guess you call it maybe body dysmorphia or whatever. I don't know. I feel like I got fucking tits.
I'm talking about back in
but when I was a kid, like my whole life, I had like bigger titties than the titties I was sucking on.
Yeah.
In fucking high school and shit. But it's like it was always that. I mean, who gave a fuck about? I really didn't give a fuck about like the big belly and shit. But that always like I would wear wife beaters and shit. To try to like
hold yourself.
To try to keep my fat cups in.
Yeah,
like,
you know what I mean. And it's like it's such an interesting way to like think about that because you know you talk about like you know.
But a good perspective. What I always thought about that shit was like, this is the most off the wall analogy for it, but like if I went to jail, they'd fucking tit fuck me and shit. So I'm like, I gotta fucking tighten it up. Like,
that's what really.
And we used to talk about that, like the things that would like push me when I lost that 100 pounds. Like the things that motivated me was like, I think about storming the beach at Normandy. Would I fucking survive Normandy?
I know. You said that to me.
Would
the
I
first time,
survive
I was
prison?
Like, damn.
Like that's something I would think about. Like, would I? Like, can I go to prison right now? And like, if right now, like. When I was fat and shit, I'd be like, if I went there right now, like they'd fucking titty fuck me and shit like that. Like I wouldn't get ass raped or whatever. They'd fucking I'd be passed around like a fucking tit fucked by like skinheads and shit in jail. If you're fat and you got titties, think about that right now. Would you fucking survive jail?
Yeah, it's motivation because it's like,
no, I would fuck you. No, I wouldn't do that. I'm just saying. If I ever went to jail, it would be like a HBO documentary. They'd be like, he did yoga. He taught all these murderers and shit to do
yoga, and now they're all
we'd all be painting and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
now they're all
zen, and it would be like they don't want me to leave.
Now they're all addicted to cacao, and they're just like eating a bunch of shit in the greenhouse.
We'd be making our own.
It's interesting because it's like, you know, how long has it, when did you lose that 100 pounds? Like, when did that start? How many years ago? 2016?
Started right after my 30th birthday. So that would be
like 7 years ago?
Yeah, about 7 years ago. I remember I went to, I had no clue I was going to lose like 100. If I knew I was going to lose 100 pounds, I would have made fucking $300 million off of Airborne. I'd have been like, I'm drinking fit tea every fucking morning. When meanwhile, I'm just eating fucking spinach and fruits that raise my vibration and shit and working out and getting sunlight. But I had no clue. I remember I went to, it was like Jeff Mervis married Brett Gallagher. I don't remember if it was shortly. Yeah, it was shortly after they got married. He threw like a surprise birthday party for her, and I went to that birthday party, and I remember just having like a few shots and a couple pieces of cake and shit. And I just remember the next day,
a few shots and a couple pieces of cake.
I just remember the next day, like I just didn't feel good, and I was like, man, something gotta go. Like, and I would get like off and on. I haven't had migraines in fucking 6-7 years, and that was purely, I feel like that was purely either diet or just like some type of blood pressure from being overweight or something like that.
Stress on your
I just remember I woke up that morning, I already gave up like McDonald's and shit. I was already sort of eating clean, but I remember I woke up that morning and I was like, something gotta fucking go. And years before that, like when my mom died when I was like 25, I like went to Sears and I bought like a fucking top of the line elliptical. I always had a weight bench. My basement, I got the weights. Like it's fucking Rocky Balboa in there. I was blessed during pandemic. I lifted down Blue Line Fitness. It's the McKeesport Police Gym.
Yeah.
They did not close during pandemic. God bless Dan Rich. I mean, if it's cool enough for the cops, it was cool enough for me. Yeah. I would go at 4:30 in the morning because I'm a fucking weirdo and I can't sleep. Like I'm just, what do you do? Like
just go out there and hit it.
Just go hit it and then go to bed at like 8 o'clock. Wake up at fucking 3 in the morning. It's weird. I fucking hate that though. But like, I mean, what's it even matter? Time's irrelevant in this simulation. But I woke up that next day and I was like, man, I don't feel right. And I was like, I got to do something. And I just started losing weight. And
you said you were doing like 40 minutes on the elliptical?
I would do an hour nonstop. Like if I stopped to like catch my breath or whatever,
didn't count that.
It didn't fucking count. Like we hit the pause button and it's back to an hour. And I would do I would lift. If you're trying to lose weight, cardio is cool. Like it gets your heart rate up, but like you have to incorporate weights. You don't want to lose all this weight and just have like skin and shit. You want to tighten it the fuck up.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I was blessed. That's why I say it's not like a thyroid. Like it wasn't my thyroid. It was the motherfucking Ritalin, man. It fucked with me in weird ways.
And like, all the Dunkin' and all that.
Sugar, man.
Yeah. The sugar is honestly like my biggest weakness of all time. You know, like I am someone who will literally, if there's a dozen donuts there, I could eat all of them if I wanted to. You know what I mean? Like a whole, like I said, a box of, I have a problem with like, you know, I overdo it. You know what I mean? Like I'll just eat like a bag of chips. You know what I mean? Like I'll just I'll do a quick line of Oreos. You know, a couple lines of Oreos, and it's
I
just
eat
like
a whole pack of Oreos. Oreos was my fat kid. That was my best friend growing up. Like,
Oreos.
Oreos was the go-to. My cake's got to be Oreos for my birthday.
Yeah.
If I ever get a blizzard, it's fucking Oreo. Like it's Oreo.
I was not a big, like I love the Oreo cookies, but like I would take an empty glass, fill them all the way up with Oreos, and then pour milk on top of it, like Oreo cereal, and I would eat that with a fucking spoon, and that's why I look like the way I did. You know
I was just having fat backs instead of flashbacks, just thinking about like some of the ungodly things I would make stoned too, like stoned or after a night of binge drinking in my 20s. But
do you don't drink alcohol too much anymore?
Well, I'm real. I'll have a couple beverages in a social environment, but I look at it as it lowers my vibration. I don't know. It just
doesn't raise it up. So
it doesn't raise it up. They call it spirits for a reason. You call on fucking, you know, everybody knows that fucking girl that cries at the bar after a drink or two. Like she called them spirits up, like, and you need to fucking deal with them. And
that's interesting to think about that.
You won't cry at the bar no more.
Speaking of that, you told me that you saw a ghost, or not a ghost, but you told me you saw something in Giant Eagle. You saw like an old grandmother or something in Giant Eagle. I need you to tell me about this.
I didn't physically see, but like,
yeah, you felt it.
Someone's grandmother was chilling in the frozen food section for sure. And like,
have you seen anything since you started down this spiritual path?
Well, what's funny is when I first because they told we like dipped off the Reiki, but I took 2 courses of Reiki. The first lady, she came with a more spiritual aspect. She's like, she laid it down as it's the idea of Reiki is basically the healing hands of Jesus. What was Jesus doing? What was Jesus doing to heal these people? Was he really Jesus or whatever you want to call him? Or was it just like, maybe I'll give it a try? Like, let me see your hand real quick type shit.
Maybe I'll give it a try.
But she laid it very religious. Well, they both came at me religious wise. They told me to call on like Saint Michael. And when I think of Saint Michael was like, I always thought of him as like the drug dealer world. Like cops needed him so they didn't get killed in the line of duty. And drug dealers are like, yeah, we need you too. Like Saint Michael in case so no one kills us either. Like, but he said, call on Saint Michael, and as always, Saint Ralph. Ralph is the patron saint of healing or whatever. So,
oh, is he?
That's why I think like things line up weird. Like why, maybe I was meant to be named Ralph in this fucking.
That's
simulation.
interesting. I didn't know that.
Well, at least in this parallel. But like, what would Jesus do to heal? And we do like meditative practices or whatever to juice it up.
Yeah.
That's what I call it. I call it the juice.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I like the way that terminology is good.
I call it the juice because it's like when I walked in the room and that lady, I felt like I had the juice and she didn't have the juice. And she laid her little thing on me. She's like, yeah, smudge yourself. She described it as you're pulling energy from the ether. Like, that's why I'd be like, yo, somebody's grandmother and shit, like, or whatever. She's like, you're pulling it from the ether, smudge yourself up. It could be good or bad. Protect yourself against it. The second lady was just raw dogging it like it was the 70s. I'm like, we're not saging or nothing. She's like, no, you're pure. Like, you purify. And I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I feel like I take people's energy to begin with. Like, I don't want to take nobody's, like, I don't know. What if they got a demon on them or some shit that like latches onto me? I've already had like some weird Indiana Jones shit where I let, I don't even know how to describe it, where like an energy came off of my leg And if I wasn't there to see it, I would say it's bullshit. Anybody listening to this would be like, yeah, he's full of shit. But like,
Yeah, why do you have to lie about it though? I mean, you know what I mean?
Like, yeah. If anything, I would lie and be like, that was some bullshit. But like, I sat there in silence for like 20 minutes, and I immediately was like, I gotta call my brother. I was like, I gotta tell him some shit. Like, and then he immediately is like, what do you like? Are you all right? Like, yeah. He's like, what? Like, I'm like, I'm not crazy. I know I'm not crazy. I'm not fucking crazy. Like, I'll pass. Like,
I definitely don't think that you. I definitely don't think you're crazy, but you know, as of someone who has,
he put the bowls on me, and we beat those motherfuckers, and we vibrated something. Something came off my leg, and the only reason this all came about was, some lady in Giant Eagle, same shit, Giant Eagle frozen food. Like, there's heavy fucking spiritual energy everywhere. But I was walking down the aisle.
right next to the Klondikes.
And, some lady was like, you got spirits on you. And I'm like, and she was fucking like, the best way to describe it is if you ever seen Little Nicky when Quentin Tarantino was like, the devil's like, she pulled one of those. Like she literally like fell into the fucking freezer section. Like,
she said that to you?
And she's like, you need to let me do a reading. And like I said, I'm like Houdini. I don't buy in the psychic realm. I think it's like you plant the seeds and then the seeds grow from there.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that too, because I started fucking with the tarot cards, and those motherfuckers don't lie. They are very, 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 very accurate.
He said, hit that Undertaker.
The cards do not lie. They're fucking scary accurate. They're to the point where I'll read them for you, but I will not. I don't want to know what's coming.
See, this is where, you know, we got into it for a little bit. You know, I bought Antoinette some, and like we were doing them for a while, but you know, this is my problem with it.
If I feel like the same thing, you might plant the seed.
Yeah, but this is my problem with it. And this is where I think a lot of it falls apart with mediums and everything. Okay, so anything that's involved in your life, you know, if you're reading a tarot card and they're talking about, oh, you know, let's say you get like, you know, it brings up like, oh, a loved one or something like that, or you're going to fall in love. It's like, you immediately cater your feelings to be like, oh, this dude that I just talked to on Tinder or something like that, this might be, you know, I'm going to cater that feeling and that
hope. A lot of false prophets.
False prophets and people, but it's also
spiritual
the people,
Kool-Aid.
But it's also the people that are like consuming it, like, you know, basically like, you know, just falling into like an already pre-existing rut.
Well, like I said, the lady's like, you need to let me do a psychic reading. And I'm like, nice to meet you, lady. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm cool on that. But then, of all places, I'm at the Renaissance Fair. The last time we had the Renaissance Fair. And like, if you've ever been to the Renaissance Fair is fucking cool, man.
Sick.
Those dudes don't break character. They don't break fucking character. And I walked into, like, if you've been there, it's miles long. I walked in there. One of the first spots I went in, I was looking at gemstones and shit. Cause like I fuck with gems, I fuck with rocks and energy. I fuck with energy, man. It's there. We're all energy. Whatever attracts you, go to it. But I'm up in this little fucking geode thing. It's like little hobbit houses too. And this fucking lady's dressed like 17th century and shit. She's like, oh, you got fucking spirits on. She didn't say like you got fucking spirits on you, but she's like, you got spirits on you. And I'm like, oh, here we go again. And I'm like, all right, you know, I get it. I'm like, my whole family's dead and shit. Like, I'm sure I got a guardian angel of sort. Or, well, now I look at it as like they're spirit guides. This was before I was like fully woke or whatever or I call it tuned in. I don't even call that shit woke. I call it just tuned in to what's really tuned in. Just wake up, figure out what's happening. But she's like, you got spirits on you. And I'm like, all right, yeah, whatever. You probably go to fucking Carnegie Mellon or some shit. Like, fucking actor. I'm walking down there. I'm making my way through the fucking Renaissance Fair, having a blast and shit, eating turkey legs and shit, drinking idle L's and shit. I I get to the very end and there's this other fucking lady and she pulls the same shit. Like, oh my God, like the energy on you so strong. You let me do a fucking reading on you.
This is Tara lady?
I don't even know what you call her. A wench, dressed as a wench. I don't know they're all in character. Like, so it's like, you take that shit with a grain of salt, but like fast forward, we go to the gongs like on a full moon and I'm telling like Billy and them about it. I'm telling them about my life. And to me, my life story isn't tragic. I don't think my life story is tragic at all. But like when I got done telling them, they're like, oh my God, like you've done all this trauma. When I think about like trauma, I think like, man, it could have been way worse. Like people had it way worse than me. Like,
yeah,
like my dad, like I come from, it's like I said, generational trauma is passed down. Not too many people know this, but 3 out of 4 of my grandparents were all murdered before I was born. The only one that wasn't murdered was my grandmother on my mom's side. Her husband, my grandfather, was murdered. He was a cab driver, robbed and shot on Soul Street. Person who murdered him only was given 3 years. That's why I fucking hate the justice system.
That's crazy.
Boost the crime rate, do what you want. He was out in like whatever you want to call it, 1.5 years or whatever. He's like I looked him up. He's a pedophile, registered sex offender in Duquesne right now.
Jeez.
Like, yeah.
That's crazy.
I feel, disgusting human beings, but it makes sense. But, and like my grandfather killed my grandmother. Like my dad had a super, super traumatic life. And, he never once spoke about it till like he was on his deathbed with me. And, like I always knew stories. He used to tell me like, yeah, your grandfather was a bad man from what I remember of him.
He killed your grandmother?
He pushed her. You ever see, I laugh about it like it's not funny, but I mean, if we can't laugh at our trauma, then who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
But you ever see He Got Game?
Yeah.
He pushed her while she was pregnant with my dad.
Smacked her head.
My dad was supposed to have a twin. The twin dies. I was supposed to have,
wow.
Who knows where that energy is? Like, that's another weird energy that could be around. That twin dies shortly after, like, my grandfather. They came from the old country. He had, like, mob ties. He ends up getting stomach cancer, snuffed out in the hospital like some fucking mobster shit. I don't know. Someone fucking slipped a pillow over him or whatever. But, like, my dad would always tell me growing up, like, your grandfather was a bad man. He deserved to die and shit. And I'd be like, damn, cuz. And like, that was just it. Like, there was no bringing it up. But, like, he was in an orphanage, things like that. And when he was 16 years, like, besides the orphanage and shit, like I went to Catholic school and the nuns beat my ass. Like, when I say, like, my life wasn't bad, like, I always think, like, yeah, it could have been worse. I could have got fucking molested or something. Like, I never got molested or anything. Like, never missed a meal or anything. Never, like, we weren't rich, but we damn sure were poor. But, like, we never had, like, Duquesne Light never cut the shit off or nothing. But, like, it could have been so much worse. But I always think, like, yeah, it wasn't no big deal. But, like, I think about his trauma all the times, like all the bad shit that happened to him before he's even fucking in high school. When he's in high school, he's an amateur boxer. He takes a punch to the eye and it fucking destroys his whole vision.
Your dad?
Yeah.
Wow.
Nobody knew this. If you knew my dad, like people knew my dad in the port. He was like the OG X-Men, man. I don't know what he's seen. I don't know if what he could really see, or they would say his vision was at like 22%, but I don't know, like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, I don't know. Close one eye. Do I poke you in your eye? We call that 20%. Like, what do you see? But like, he wasn't allowed a license or anything. He was a fucking G. Back in the day, he worked in the mills, and to get around being blind, like, he's literally Homer Simpson. He would work in the mill, and he would memorize the eye chart when it came time for physicals.
Wow.
And they'd just be like, boom, boom, boom. And this was, they didn't catch on to that shit till like 2003. The day they found out he's legally blind, his doctor was like, and it's like, yeah, I fucking hate Western medicine. You've been treating this motherfucker his whole life. You've been blind for fucking 70 years. Like, you just woke up to this shit.
Western medicine.
Dumb motherfuckers. There's a spot for Western medicine, like if you need sewed up or whatever. But I always say holistic root before you put a pill in your body. Absolutely talk to, like, you know.
What are like your goals of like the spiritual journey?
Dude, that's what I mean. Like when I say the universe is saying go,
you don't know where yet.
I don't know where. What's great about it is I always compare my life to like, I'm like the fucking feather in Forrest Gump. I'm just going. Whatever happens, happens. There's no game plan. There's no structure, really. Like, I don't know. I live a very blessed life. One thing that people take for granted is gratitude. You can't have nothing unless you're thankful for the motherfucker. Like, I'm super happy that every morning I get to get up and do what I want to do. And, you know, I don't even want to do nothing cool. Like, I just be chilling. Like, most of my days. Feed your squirrels. Like, dude, I feed the squirrel. Well, the squirrel's my spirit animal. There's a reason them squirrels showed up to me when they did.
Mine's a rabbit for sure.
Well, when I dabble in, like, man, I started feeding the squirrel after my mom died. I would be out there. I used to drink coffee heavy. I would smoke a joint in the morning. I would drink coffee on my porch. And the squirrel would come fucking around. Like, it would climb down. And I guess it would smell the coffee or whatever. I'd put, like, hazelnut and shit in it. It probably smelled that loud shit. And it probably definitely smelled the weed, too. It would come check that shit out. I'd be just bummed out, like, you know, having a morning coffee. The squirrel would start coming around. I'm like, all right, fuck it. One day I'm eating a banana out there with it. And I just throw the butt end to it, like, and this motherfucker jumps out and catches it like fucking Jerry Rice and starts eating it. And I'm like, all right, cool. You know, every other day, this motherfucker shows up. I'm out there. It's like, well, you know, it's like
recognizes.
Well, sometimes I get good video of it. Like, lately we're thrown off. My timing's thrown off. I'm up at 3 a.m. instead of up at 7 a.m. with them. Yeah. They know it too. Like, there's heavy beef that goes on. I need to get a ring real like ASAP on my front door. To peep all this animal activity. But I have like 2 cardinals and I have 2 blue jays. And
that's wild.
If you know anything about birds,
I've been I've been noticing and paying attention way more.
Blue jays are very, very aggressive, and they've been deboing the peanuts. Like, the squirrels ain't been getting the peanuts because I'm not.
Cardinals are crazy too.
Well, the cardinals are they're sly.
Yeah,
they come in and
well, this is Cardinal Drive, so
they wait for the blue jay to fucking punch.
Listen to how crazy this is. There's a bush right across the street. There was 8 red cardinals in the one bush together. And it's wild. Like, you start thinking of that. It's pretty crazy.
I love nature. I think about, I always think about the energy. Like, if... and
everything got energy.
Yeah. What are you coming back as?
So now you're doing, how often are you doing these yoga classes if people want to come to them?
Well, I do the yoga every Tuesday night up in Yoga Flow Irwin at 6:15. The Bro Flow. That's just a name we throw on there because this is who you're talking to. Like, you're not getting no fucking... Gandhi's not teaching this class. There's nothing civil about it.
You're getting the Undertaker.
You're getting the Undertaker. On the real, I play like Rocky soundtrack.
Yeah.
I've been known to play like my go-tos for like when I need some go-to music. I'd be hitting boys with old school Disney jams. Like, people ain't even ready for that in the yoga studio. They're used to just hearing, hi, yeah. and gongs and shit like
that's true.
Like, I'm like, I always play one of the fundamental Godfathers. There's always a Jay-Z jam. There's always a big, like, if there ain't Jay-Z, there's a Biggie.
Yeah.
The other day I had the audacity to play Survival of the Fittest by Mobb Deep and Uchi Wally by but the instrumentals I don't play. I mean, people ask me all the time. They're like, "Yo, where do you get this fucking playlist from?" And I'm like,
"Just put it together."
I'm like, I don't got Spotify. I got Spotify for free. I pay for my iTunes, but like, go on iTunes and try to find instrumentals. It's gonna take you a long fucking time. Like, I should have been reading books over quarantine. Instead, I was building a fucking iTunes monster like hip hop playlist.
Well, that's good.
But most of the time they get flagged and copywritten because it's like, you know, the game, like,
Yeah.
it goes from
Everyone
like,
going to get their buck.
I had like 30 some hours. It's down to 16
How
hours.
many people were able to come to your classes?
We can fit 30 in there, with restrictions too, I believe. You know, if 30 want to show up.
How many people were usually getting in there? Pretty packed up.
Some days it's packed, some days it's not. It's always different. Last class, not too many people showed up.
And it's
It was
every
hot as balls.
Tuesday.
Yeah, but usually around 9 to 20. Like 20 is usually, I consider 20 like a nice.
And what time?
6:15. I think 20 is a nice number. You get 20 in there, it's going to get fucking hot. And I have yet to sell that out. Like I would sell Murraysville out like I'm fucking Elvis or something. Like I sold out Murraysville. I like Murraysville capacity for like the fire code or whatever. The comfortably put we were able to put like 32 in there or some shit. Like the first class I taught, 34 showed up, and
Yeah, I
you were
remember
at that class. And
Yeah,
like,
that was crazy.
I remember
There were so many people there.
I put us in a spinal balance, and Murray and his girl were right.
I know.
Like literally, they were touching me, and I was like, we're in this. And
Yeah, like it's-
and I'm like, I can't even stop and be like, what the fuck? There's no stopping it now. It's on.
That was incredible. I urge people to, you know, go and just try out a class if they can. It's a hike from me right now, but
I do have some local yokel shit popping up. The one thing I do want to plug is I'm doing the 4th of July at the terminal in the Strip District. It's a $5 drop-in class.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a good feel. I seen like they were doing
People doing that,
They
yeah,
were
I
doing
saw
the
it.
terminal or whatever, and I seen it pop up, and I was like, the 4th of July. I'm a sucker for the holiday classes because like.
if you don't go in there wearing Rocky shorts,
If you already know I got the Apollo Creed shorts. Not only that, I told Dante to make me. We already got it. I was like, make it Rocky too. Like, put me in the fucking George Washington wig with the
that
fucking vest
is
on,
the
all that
best.
shit. Because that's how I'm gonna be down there, and I'm gonna be down there. We're gonna be in there fucking stretching, listening to Born in the USA and Neil Diamond coming to like anything American. You, can
I'm
think
definitely
of,
gonna
it's
check
gonna
that
be banging down there. But I have a good feeling about that 4th of July thing. I feel like it's going to be a good summer. Last summer, everything was closed down. I feel like this summer,
everyone's eager to
it's
get out
about
there,
to kick off,
chomping at the
And,
bit.
that thing is it's at 11 o'clock or some shit like that. I don't know.
I'll post
Flyers
it up
are
closer to
definite.
it.
The visuals for that are going to be phenomenal because
Yeah.
you can run with that. Like Mount Rushmore, there's so many fucking good ideas for American Independence Day.
Absolutely.
Like,
You can have fucking Will Smith there at Independence Day.
Rocky 2 was like the first thing I thought. I was like, man,
Yeah, it got to be
fucking-
Rocky.
You got to come out with the Apollo Creed.
All right, we could keep going forever, but we got to end up getting to the ending segment, else we'll talk all night.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about like the other Reiki ceremony.
Do you want to talk about it?
We could, but like, I just think of it all as the same. It's all perspective. Everybody got a different perspective of it. The one lady was real religious. The other lady wasn't religious. And, she was like raw dogging it and shit. Like there was none of that worrying about taking shit with you. But, when I was in that second Reiki ceremony, there was some lady telling me like that, my dad was in the room trying to communicate with us and shit. I'm like, gee, yeah. I'm like, the fuck. And, everybody, they put you in a circle. They do these attunements to you or whatever.
Do the Reiki masters like communicate with people during the ceremony?
What you do, it's very Illuminati-esque. You close your eyes or whatever. My eyes are closed the whole time, and it's like I'm giving away the magician code or whatever. She blew on my hand and drew some shit on me. I don't know. Yeah. Eventually,
crazy.
when I become a master, I would be drawing it on people. Like I said, I would call you up and send you an email, get rid of your migraine or whatever.
Fucking carving pentagrams into people's hands.
But everybody in the room, they were like, they're like, tell us how you felt or whatever during the attunements. And everybody's like, yeah, I felt real grounded, like I was on a boat or whatever. And she's like, yeah, that's absolutely how you're supposed to feel. And then I raised my hand and I'm like, yo, I was like, I don't know if you've noticed, but I was like, I'm fucking fidgeting and shit. Like, it's complete silence in this room. My ankles are cracking and shit because I can't fucking sit still. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, that's how you're supposed to feel. And I'm like, well, which one is it, lady? I'm like, am I supposed to feel like I'm on a boat or am I supposed to feel like I'm like fidgeting? She's like, no, that's like creative shit. And I'm like, man, that's why I said to you, like, man, you got to take this shit with like,
you got to,
it's
whatever you make it.
It's whatever you make it. Because, like,
how long?
There's no questions asked that when she put her hands on me, I felt like fucking Raiden from Mortal Kombat was touching me. She put her hands on my fucking chest, and I thought she was going to blow my lung out my back. And she's like, you're bottled up in your stomach, that's why. And she's telling me it's this creative shit. And I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, that's what all these people were telling me in the spirit shit like that. Like, I got the creative
If you went to
juice.
level 1, how many levels are there?
There's 3 levels. And
when do you think you would be at the master level?
This is where it gets so wonky. This is why I feel like
it's however long, however
3
quick
weeks.
you can pay.
Said, no, they want 3 weeks. They feel like 3 weeks in between each one. But I feel like I'd
say you could work a couple more weeks to pay for it. The check won't bounce.
That's exactly it. So you can wrestle up another $300. It's the spiritual Kool-Aid, man. It's just like religion. Joel Osteen ain't rich because he's fucking, he's selling
garbage.
hope. I mean, you could sell boys hope the same way. I could sell you hope.
Hope dealer.
I mean, yoga's not cheap and shit, and it's not going to save your life, but like, you at least get something out of it. I'll physically fucking whip you into shape.
Yeah, you
anything.
definitely. But you also definitely get some sort of spiritual. But it's all what you make
of it.
You get to
calm down. But like, when it comes to that Reiki shit, like I can put my hands on you all I want or all you want or whatever till the cows come home. That don't mean shit. And the level up in just 3 weeks is like weird. I'm like, so let me get this straight. Like, I feel like the level up, you need to level up for real. Like, I should show up in 3 weeks and she should be like, all right, did you fucking cure like 3 migraines or what?
Yeah.
And if I didn't, then I shouldn't be allowed to level up.
That's
right?
what she tells you. It's almost like
doesn't that sound like more
it's almost
convincing?
like reading
then I could become a master
rosary.
after 3 weeks, and then I put you on, and next thing you know, we're on Fit Tea.
Yeah,
I got you on.
it's
You're making me money. You're putting them on, making me money. We're
Energy.
all touching everybody for 100 hours. Next thing you know, we're all wearing fucking medallions and blazers and shit.
Gold medallions. It's like the medallion from Ace Ventura 2.
20 years down the road, Netflix does a special about us. It starts out phenomenal. Then it turns out like, Ralph was just going to the Roo afterwards and giving girls energy massages on her tits.
That is ridiculous. I mean, I'm excited for the spiritual journey because, it's interesting to know someone that, I could talk to about it. And it's interesting to hear your perspective, but
it's super hard to talk about. It's
because it sounds ridiculous.
Well, people listening to this are probably like, this is one of the hardest things to stomach ever.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, it's definitely ridiculous to hear about, but it's interesting to, it's interesting.
If this came from some fucking dude wearing a daishiki, you'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but because
I'm sitting here in like camo pants and Jordan 11s, like
wearing a trap house hoodie,
just stoned to the bones.
And that's why it's so interesting to hear about it, because you're someone that makes it more approachable. And I think I respect that. And I think other people are more open to hearing things that's coming from someone as authentic as yourself.
Well, like I said, I'll never consider myself a teacher. I'm more of a student of life. We're all in this. I know a lot of shit, but at the end of the day, what the fuck do I really know?
Yeah, right.
And I'll never ever call myself a teacher, but like I know my role in this game. I'm the fucking boss. I'm the gatekeeper. I got your eyes on it. Dig deeper yourself.
I like that.
Somebody, like, I'm not the one that's supposed to change your life. I'm the one to make it comfortable for you to change your life. I'm not going to pass the shit on you, but everybody I fuck with will.
I like that.
I'm the gatekeeper to this shit. Like, and I'm not here for yoga. That's why I say the spiritual shit. Like, that was just like
That was the gateway
that
into
was
it
the
all.
That was the DMT. I blasted off, and it was like, all right, where we go next? And it's like
It's going to be interesting to see, and I mean, I'm sure once
supposed to do ayahuasca in
geez.
September.
That's
It's either August or early September.
That's crazy.
Very excited about that.
Pissing and shitting out of your ass.
I have a little piece of DMT I got from a shaman just a few weeks ago, and I look at it every day, and I'm like, do I or don't I? And it's like, I want to do it, but I want to make sure it's in a controlled environment. But I also know a lot of people that blasted off and done DMT, and when they came back, they're not funny no more. And like, I feel like I got a good bubbly personality.
Yeah,
I don't want it to fuck that up.
You're definitely funny.
I don't want to see some shit and be like, oh, man.
You're one of like probably 4 or 5 people that have been asked to have on again whenever I just posted the other day.
Yeah, I'm geeked about that too. Setting the bar. I'm like the Uncle Joey of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, the Uncle Joey of Pittsburgh.
Cuss a lot.
All right, ending segment that I do with all my guests is an ending segment called Desert Island Questions. So the ending segment is whenever I give each guest 3 categories to take with them on a desert island to exhaust until they expire. So the first category is movies, 3 things to watch. Or, yeah, not movies necessarily, but 3 things to watch.
We did these so many. This is the 3rd time.
No one remembers though.
I know no one remembers. I do remember my movies because I'll never not say Commando first. Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger, favorite movie of fucking all time. Greatest movie. Name a better movie. I don't know.
I can name quite a few.
I mean, but come on, man.
I know, with nostalgic and everything.
That's such a good movie.
It's not my favorite Arnold movie, but that's all right.
What other movie do I always go to like The Burbs is definitely.
Yeah, I watched that. Did I tell you I watched it after after I was at your house? We watched it, and it's a wild one.
Dude, The Burbs is great.
I can't believe I've never seen that before.
And definitely, no questions asked, Back to the Future too.
Yeah.
Not two, but, yeah, like, but as in TOO.
Yeah, Back to the Future.
Like Back to the Future as well.
Did
that's such a thought-provoking thing. Steven Spielberg, that motherfucker. I don't know. I might have said this last time I was here. That motherfucker he's
an alien.
He's the gatekeeper for real.
Dude, if you look at movies like that, you look at movies like fucking E.T.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, you're just like,
dude, he got
what's
his hand
going
in
on?
Everything.
Yeah.
You ever see Ready Player One?
No, I never watched that.
That's a fucking
I know. I never saw like Tron or anything either, but I never even watched Blade Runner. I need to watch Blade Runner.
Watch Ready Player One because like with Zoom and shit, like
I'll have to watch that.
It's coming.
So the second category, I usually tell people to pick 3 books, but if you got to pick 3 pieces of equipment to lift with and have it on a desert island, what would the 3 pieces be? If you could only have 3 things. Like if your gym that you had for the rest of your life.
Jump rope would be number 1 for
jump
sure.
rope.
Jump rope for sure.
Wow.
I mean, is that what we're talking?
Yeah.
We're talking like fucking like a
no
like a
row
squat
machine.
rack.
I mean, if you want that, you could have that.
But no, I mean, I would definitely need a jump rope.
Yeah.
I would definitely need a yoga mat.
Yeah.
And I would definitely, I mean, if I'm on a desert island and shit, what's it matter? I'm going to be doing pull-ups to grab coconuts and shit. I'm going to be pressing coconuts or whatnot. So.
Shovel so you could dig holes.
No, I wouldn't even want that shit. Fucking shovel. If anything, I would want an oar.
An oar, yeah.
To row my ass out of there. But like a fitness thing, I don't know. Maybe fucking Gatorade.
A big ass cooler of Gatorade. That's a good one. A football cooler of Gatorade.
When it comes to it, like, if you're on a desert island, you're going to be you're not going to have the energy to really work out or whatever.
Touche. I didn't want to ask you books. I just figured.
Books, I should have took advantage. Instead of doing a bunch of reading, I did a bunch of weird spiritual shit over the quarantine.
That's all right, though.
There was a little bit of reading.
Your third item could be a kilo of cacao.
I'd rather have a kilo of fucking some real Colombian. I don't even want that either. I'd take some weed instead, but
I'll give you that though. We'll give you that. That's medicine. That could be considered fitness.
It would definitely be grown out there.
What about, so the third category is 3 CDs. So you got to pick 3 CDs.
See, as I get older and older, my music changes all the time. But I always go back to my all-time favorite album, Ghostface Killer, Supreme Clientele. I mean, that's just it. I have, if you look in my car, I still got a CD book in my car like it's the 1990s. Like literally, that. If you want to feel old, like anybody listening to this, you got a book of CDs in your car.
I got it in my car. Of all old mix CDs.
There's a lot of kids that probably don't even know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, I know, but that's ridiculous.
But like, I got like 3 copies of that right now on me.
I got 3 copies.
One of them's the clean copy. I didn't know it was the clean version. It took me like years and years before I realized it was the clean version. I just thought it was RZA cuts. Like he would throw the little Shaolin swords like when he'd swear. I was like, oh man, that's what makes it dope. But like when I heard the unedited version, he like, this is 50 Cent and shit. Like there's like 3 different other jams on it. But that's my hip hop album for life. Ghostface Killer, Supreme Clientele, The Wu. I mean, who's
so that's one.
Man, I always like to go back to like a little bit of like rock and metal and shit too, because like I listen to it all. I'm a big fan of every genre of music. I fuck with everything but country. Like I'm even into like the
Enya.
I'm into it. This dude DJ Drez, he looks like Norris. He's the most yoga friendly music I'll suggest. Like I'll play some DJ Drez, but that's all I fucking know. Well, I watched him on his YouTube. He was cutting like Mobb Deep. He was cutting all this shit and the gongs and shit, and it was fucking dope. But I would say, last time I was here, I said Appetite for Destruction from Guns N' Roses, which I think still holds heavy.
That's a good one. That would definitely put you in some good moods.
But I would also swap that out for
Jesse and the Rippers Forever.
No, I'm going to say the Metallica Black album.
Oh, that's a good one. Because
that album's pound for pound.
Like, yeah, that's a good one for sure.
If you ain't fucking with Metallica, I'm like,
who are you?
Like, who are you fucking with?
It's like what Rob Schneider is fucking in Big Daddy. He goes, if you don't like peanut butter jelly, you can get the hell out of here.
Well, what's sad is people are allergic to peanut butter.
I know, it's crazy.
Not to throw shade, but like, step your game up.
Get on a level.
If a peanut's gonna kill you, fuck.
Yeah, you're hurting.
Yeah, fuck. I feel this world's gonna
Would your last one be a metal album?
Nah. There's only gonna be one metal album.
What is that?
That's gonna be that Metallica.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, other than that, the only thing like heavier than that I would ever do would be like Pantera.
Yeah, that's good.
My brother was like, my oldest brother Rob was a big metalhead, like. Big metal.
So what's the third genre?
The last time I was here, I said Dr. Dre The Chronic, which is still
still holds well too.
That was like the game changer. When I got that album, I stopped listening to Metallica and started listening to fucking rap.
You're that or like Bone Thugs or something.
Bone Creeping on a Come Up was like that. If you went to Cornell, that was it. It was Creeping on. You listen to Wu-Tang. You listen to Bone, like you listen to Creeping on a Come Up. But you know what? Honestly, one of the greatest albums of all time is DMX, It's Dark and When Hell Was Hot. I would take that with me in a heartbeat. DMX doesn't get the credit he deserves. I say this to people. I know. He's heavy on the mind today. Yeah. That's why I thought about that. That's why I thought about DMX. Like, man, DMX heavy on the mind. But like, It's Dark and Hell Was Hot. Like, when he's... Other than Tupac, who could like talk and like say a prayer on a fucking album and get away with it? Like DMX was the sickest boy. But if he were to die, if he didn't die of what he died of, old age and crackheadism, and he died after It's Dark and Hell's Hot or after the second album.
Oh, that would be considered.
He would be top 3 dead or alive, he would be considered. It would be Tupac, Biggie, DMX. No questions asked. Anybody who wants to get at me at Yoga Ralph. I don't fuck around on Facebook too much, but at Yoga Ralph on Instagram, I'll debate that DMX, if he were to die after that second album, top 10 or top 3 all time.
All right.
But like
That's
my
a good-
third album, I'm going to say I'm not. Well, yeah.
You just said it.
Oh, well, that's honorable mention, but I'm going to have to take Bob Marley, Legends.
That's a good one then too. That you have a good variety of all of them.
Well, you figure you're going to be.
You got to.
It's just madness.
Okay, so the third to last question is the death row meal. So if I can't wear that out too much, that
Dude, it's the greatest. I need that as my
the text tone.
Yeah. I used to have a Macho Man, ooh yeah, but it was a little aggressive.
A little aggressive.
Well, right now I have the Terminator, the little dun 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 dun,
Yeah, I don't have any,
which is pretty aggressive.
I don't
And
use it on loud.
if
at
you
all.
were to call me right now, my ringtone is Cape Fear. Dude, it's set like it goes off in inappropriate times.
Yeah,
and it really
inappropriate
sets the
times.
mood. And I have to pull it out. Like, and people are like, some people might recognize it, but either way, they're like, man, that's some eerie shit.
Yeah, it's very. Okay, so death row meal. What would you eat from wherever you want?
It's the same every time.
Honestly, I'm so hungry right now. I'm about to get some food after this.
I ate last night. I ate Salim's, and shout out to Salim's, since we always talk about health and wellness.
Yeah.
Man, I did not recognize this man last night. He has probably lost 2 Action Bronsons during this quarantine.
Really?
Like, dude, lean and mean. He looked like a fucking welterweight fighter.
Wow.
I didn't even recognize him, but Salim's would definitely, he's in the category. I'm definitely going to want a double chicken burger from Salim and a little piece of tiki marsala and some chicken marsala. Like, yeah, make it, fat kid portion it. Skip the vegetables and all that.
What do you want as a dessert?
Desserts be hitting hard. I mean, I always say the smoked donuts.
Smoked donuts from Smoke. I've never had them.
From Smoke. Oh, man.
I've had Smoke. I've never had the donuts there though.
Oh my God. Do you follow them on Instagram?
No, I will though.
Here's the kicker. They only do donuts on Sunday. And if they quit their job, if they quit their day job tomorrow of selling tacos and
They'd
barbecue,
make it selling donuts.
they would make a heavyoweight champion.
Wow,
Heavyweight
that
fucking
good,
champion.
huh?
They only make donuts on Sundays. You have to get up early. It's sort of like your homegirl, the brothmonger.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on it. Get up, get your donuts, place your order, pay for them, go pick them up.
Is the corner donut store, do they have good shit or no? Did it fall?
I've only eaten them just to patronize the place when it first opened.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't fuck with donuts. I can't go back.
It's
down.
dangerous.
It's just like, you wouldn't
Dangerous.
give
Boston cream?
You wouldn't ask an alcoholic to go to fucking
A
the
bar.
bar real quick. Or,
I know.
You wouldn't.
It's fucked up. I remember I used to.
But I went there when it first opened, and it's hitting.
When
Same
my
old
dad,
shit. Turner's Tea, motherfucking.
You already know
Sport
that.
Angel, and a smile from
fucking
Shelly.
the Key Sport Angel.
And Jim, the fucking baker, who's been baking for like 70
Ridiculous.
years.
Okay, so the second to last question is, okay, if you're
More food though.
What
I'm
do you
not
want?
even done. We're
Go
eating
ahead.
streets. We're eating.
Yeah.
Definitely some Yolis.
Yeah, shout out Ben from
Fuck with
Yoli's.
Yolis heavy. The reason I'm overweight is because of Yolis. Over like Lent or whatever, I tried to eat that
Dude,
goddamn
that fish
fucking
sandwich,
fish sandwich.
the one that got away.
I tried to eat that thing every Friday. I would train. I would wake up. I would go to the gym. I'd be like, I burn all these calories. I'm gonna eat this loaf of bread tonight.
Dude, it's crazy.
And I just couldn't. If it was like a Balboa like that, put it down. But I don't like crab meat. I don't like crab.
Oh, you're out of your mind.
And
their crab cakes were really good.
It's fire, but like,
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
just not
eat 2
in-
pounds of crab.
I know he straight up had 2 pounds on there.
But if that
It's
was a 5 pound sandwich, if that was like a gyro or whatever, hands down, put that motherfucker down.
All right, we gotta get.
Kobayashi.
I gotta get some food after this for sure. Okay, so the second to last question is: if you go on like a, you're going on a road trip or something like that, you go into, Lampert's, and the only thing you could pick is one snack food. You could go, you just get one snack food the rest of your life. What would it be?
Man, I'm plain Jane. I just grab nuts.
Just grab nuts.
That squirrel, I would probably just grab. My vice right now is dark chocolate almonds. I buy these dark chocolate almonds from Sam's Club.
They're
and
good?
I buy them from whoever got them in bulk. Dude, it's a fucking chocolate almond. It's fucking fire. But I just proportion. I just can't.
It's hard.
There'll be like 32 servings. I'll eat the bag in one night.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is like dark chocolate gives you back to cacao. Like cacao's a weird thing. It's from nature, but it gives you very, very wild dreams if you eat some like dark chocolate before bed. Same with yogurt. Yogurt will give you weird dreams too. But like dark chocolate definitely affects your brain before bed.
That's what your pick would be, dark chocolate almonds?
I mean, what do you grab from the convenience store? What
Dude, you can grab chips. You can grab candy bar.
I don't really fuck with chips, and I don't like candy like that. Like I used to have a sweet tooth when I was a kid. I like Twix bars or whatever, but like
Yeah, Twix is fire.
nowadays, I really just don't have the craving for.
I used to love a peach ring and a Turner's.
Dude, I used to love a peach ring. Well, definitely, if I'm gonna grab something from a gas station, it's gonna be a bottled water, and I really don't buy snacks from gas stations.
I know,
feel
but
like-
I mean, like,
I feel like that's the hustle for gas station. They give you gas at
about-
government cost, and then you go in there and ball out on a pack of Newports.
listen
and,
to how funny this is. Yesterday,
and a Red Bull. Boys go in there and buy a Red Bull real quick, and the next thing you know, they're broke by payday.
the other day, I was in Aldi with my brother over in White Oak or over in McKeesport or whatever, and I was sitting in line waiting to go up, and I grabbed a tea out of the cart. He goes, "You ought to be ashamed of yourself." He was like, "I try to never buy nothing from these lines right here. They're just out here trying to get you. They're trying to get you to just pick something up." And I was like, "You're sick."
I will say this: Aldi is the sickest, and 95% of the things I buy from Aldi's take place while I'm in line. I pull up, and they'll be like, "Oh, cauliflower chips,"
Yeah.
and it'll be like gluten-free cookies. I'll be
Yeah.
like, "All right, yeah,
Yeah,
like,
try it all.
fine,
Why
come
not?"
on, yeah, let's go.
All right, last question is, if you could have a conversation with anyone alive or dead, who would it be and why? Can't be a loved one.
The first time I was on here, I said Andrew Carnegie, which I would still like to talk to that cocksucker.
That would be a good-
I'd like to pick his brain. Second time I was on here, I chose Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like,
That's
of
a
all
good one
people,
too, though.
as an alive person. But right now, if I could talk to anybody,
Osa or
nah,
OSHA.
Nah, I feel like I feel like anybody could be OSHA. I'm only a Rolls Royce away from being OSHA. You know what I mean?
Rolls Royce and a
Wait.
couple sexual
I
allegations.
dabble with the cult jokes too much because like it's very easy when you think about it. How many followers do you have?
yeah, dude. I get it. It's like
It's very
Joe
easy to
Rogan
start a
listening
cult.
to
It's
him.
very
It's
easy to start
it's
a cult.
cultish.
I'm very OSHA like. I got my machine guns and
Yeah.
I think we could weaponize. I'm
You
on
do a
the
little bit
page.
of both.
I'm on the page of weaponizing meditation, but for a good reason. Like if the whole world stopped right now and meditated in a positive vibe, it would be dope. And
Well,
if we did it vice versa, you know, we could maybe send an energy beam and take a planet out.
Who would it be?
Who would I want to talk to pass some wisdom? I think I'm just gonna go back with Andrew Carnegie because, like, when I think about when I just think about history, it's like
That would be dope.
it'd be a very, very interesting conversation.
It would be to just sit down for a couple hours and just be able to ask whatever.
Yeah, like what? Because it's like always weird.
Or
Like,
someone like Tesla.
well, Tesla. I was thinking Tesla for sure. I was thinking even Elon Musk, but like I seen Elon a lot of times talk
he's-
to Joe Rogan.
He's
and
super
it's like,
strange.
he's very, very strange.
He's almost like a fucking android that like Rogan will ask him something and he'll like look like blankly, like he's trying to compute like a formidable answer. But I don't know. He's very strange.
His vibration is way too high for whatever.
It's
we're in.
weird.
That's why I feel like he wants to escape.
He's trying to go to Mars.
Or it's like, I don't know. Is it the comic books? Do you get so much power you become a supervillain? Like, is that the point? Is he trying to become a supervillain?
One of these days you're just going to be able to
'Cause it
like look
feels-
at that bottle and it's
'cause
going to start shaking.
Yeah. Well, next week maybe.
Yeah, next week another
But, like,
$300 and you get to
I
shake
know.
a bottle.
Well, that was the first thing she said when we were done. She's like, "You should go home, Reiki everything," and I was like, "All right." Like I went home and started Reiki and lottery tickets and shit real quick. But like I do it on my cat all the time, and 100% she fucking responds to it. I do it on myself, and I don't know, maybe placebo effect, but like I don't know.
You take what it is, and you're trying to use it.
Just trying to push energy in. It's worst case scenario, nothing.
Yeah,
it's not like there's like a negative to it. Worst case scenario, I'm just blowing smoke up my ass.
Yeah,
but
and
like
enjoying the ride.
But like I guess talk to Andrew Carnegie, like figure out like what's something like that, like what
a mind like that is.
So many things to ask the mind. Like what's the drive? Like I knew the drive was like. From what I seen from like watching The Men Who Built America, his drive was he had a chip on his shoulder it's always about chips on your shoulders.
Yeah. You want to do things to thrive
that's what
against your enemies.
Yep.
It's like you want to show out against the people that have once done you wrong or that you want to prove yourself against, which is good motivation for a lot of people. But
well, it's nothing. Call it friendly competition.
Yeah,
everybody wants to be dope, right?
Yeah, fuck yeah, that's perfect.
Everybody wants to be dope, but
you got to plug all your shit. Plug your yoga class, plug everything.
Let's see what the plug. Shameless plugs. I teach yoga every Tuesday at Yoga Flow Irwin at 6:15. We do pre-registration for it. You would have to download this app. It's called the Glow Fox app. Very simple. Download the Glow Fox app, ask your email, make a password, register for classes. Boom, you're in. Another thing I want to promote heavy is the Bill Book gongs. We do the gongs up at Yoga Flow Irwin as well. Once a month. It's the last Saturday of every month, and they're very, very dope. There's no way really like to describe what I know they do to you, except for tell you to go on YouTube and just look up the mathematics of vibration and watch this salt dance on these gongs. And that's what the fuck it's doing to your innards. It's trippy. I trip out in there. Sometimes I eat psychedelics and I talk to my higher self. It gets fucking strange, but like, it's always a good time. I don't always do that. I usually do it around full moons. I think this next one might drop we should be pretty full moonish. It should be like the same weekend as a full moon. I think we hit the new moon this week on Tuesday. So no, it probably won't be. No, scratch that. Won't be. We'll catch up to it. But like, those are the days like I'm gonna eat a dose of mushrooms and let the fucking spirit road act fucking Halloweenish on me. But I go in there and just the Bill Book gongs last Saturday of every month of Yoga Flow. It's $10. The name of the game is mindfulness. There's no yoga involved. It's just breathe, inhale, exhale at your own pace. You're more than welcome to fall asleep in this motherfucker. But like I said earlier, whenever you walk in there, when you walk in that dojo, it's peace. You turn it off. It don't matter what you're going through. That shit turns off for however long you're on that mat until you tell it, hey, welcome back. Like I said, worry about your grocery list at another time. Worry about your love life at another time. Facebook is waiting for you. Instagram is waiting for you. Those likes ain't going nowhere. Get back to them at another time. Turn that shit off for an hour. Do yourself a favor and get weird.
Yeah, let yourself open up.
And even if you don't want to do no shit like that, I'm a heavy promoter of mindfulness. Like anything. When you wake up, just think of anything. Like 3 things in your life that are like good, what you're thankful for.
Reflection.
Always wake up and give thanks for something. Think about it. It only takes a second. Like even if you're in a shitty situation, you still fucking woke up this morning. Like wake up, thank something. And guard your mental health. Like
guard your energy.
It's a fucked up world. Yeah. If you go to shake my hand and I hit you with one of those pullbacks and stick my hair back, don't take offense. Like I don't like shaking nobody's hand really.
Did you plug your Instagram already?
it can't be any simpler at Yoga Ralph. Like, there's no need to spell
Putting
it.
the OG back in yoga.
Yeah, we put the OG back in yoga. I'm a student of life, and I'm a mercenary for this spiritual shit. I do it for fun. I go where I'm called.
I go where I'm called.
I've never. I've just recently started getting paid for this shit, and it's not about the money at all. I have yet to cash my check. And even what's funnier was like, John Quest hit me up and was like, "You want to do this commercial?" And I did like a yoga commercial. Like, I didn't cash that check either. Like,
was that all right though?
It was different. I mean,
it was different.
What's funny is, like, Merv knows I have like all the free time in the world, and I guess he signed up for like one of them bullshit emails where. Not emails, like, remember in the middle of the mall where they'd like take your picture and send you out the mall search for some shit. But he's on like an email registry of like
extras
acting,
and everything.
yes, and he sends them to the group chat. If Merv is listening to this, you asshole, quit sending us gigs. Like, we're not trying to act. I tell him all the time, like, I ain't an actor. That ain't. He's like, dude, you know, like, that's you. He sent me this one time. They wanted a tattooed 30-something-year-old dude to play a bus driver. I'm like, he's like, dude, you should go fucking do this real quick. You ain't doing nothing with your, like, what are you doing that day? I'm like,
that's
man,
hilarious.
I'm like, I can't just be fake. There's no, but like, I did that shit, and like, it was different. I never acted or whatever, but like, it was weird. Definitely having cameras in your face, doing sun salutations and whatnot. And it's like, I'm interested to see this. It was for a commercial for Dollar Bank. I'm 100% sure that they probably won't show me at all. And they'll probably show John like for like 4 seconds, if anything. And it'll be like weeks and weeks of fucking work just for all that shit. But like, it was something funny. The yoga shit's funny. I mean,
it's fun. I enjoy it.
I don't do it for money. I do it just for, I'm a spiritual fucking mercenary.
I like that.
Trying to help you, you know. And like I said earlier, you know, the universe will provide. I retired when I was 28. Who the fuck does that? Like, I'm in the prime of my life now. I'll probably live like 50 more years. I didn't think that one through financially when I just was like, stop going to work. But
you're fulfilled though.
I guess you could call it happy. I could be happier, but who couldn't be happier?
Who couldn't be happier?
But I'm pretty, you know, I'm pretty content. I like my little I like what's going on.
I like it too, and I'm happy. I'm happy that I was, I'm happy that I was awoken a little bit. But
well, that right there is like the biggest. Like, when you hear people, like when you hear like an artist or something, or like, I don't know, when someone says like, you changed their life for some shit. Like, there's no sicker feeling than that. Like when I see like that you go to classes and shit, and it's like, all right, yeah. All these fucking minerals and shit I sweated out, all these hours of just sitting on my mat and training and shit. It didn't go in vain. Like, it fucking hit people, and like
yeah, for sure,
and
a
like
few people,
and like you still continue with it. Like, that's what's dope about it. And it's like
yeah, the first one was 3 years ago,
and then you still
Antoinette is into it crazy now,
and then like it goes the same way to you. You become the gatekeeper, and it's like you're not necessarily the one that should give everyone the message.
I'm a conduit.
But yeah, the Reiki is on. It's flowing right through you.
I wish I had this sound bite from Little Nicky. Everyone that's listening, I appreciate it as usual. This is exactly what I hope and dream for whenever I have podcasts. I want to have great conversations with good people. Follow Yoga Ralph on Instagram. Follow I'll Call You Right Back on Instagram. Turner's Tea has just released their chocolate marshmallow limited edition milk out right now. I'm gonna have to. I haven't got one yet. I can't wait to.
Well, you know, I catch them every time.
That was my second. That was my second favorite.
I'm not a milk drinker.
Me either.
But I give them a go because it's like whatever it is, the plain or whatever. There's a little. for years and years, Giant Eagle never carried Turners, but there's like, if you look in every Giant Eagle nowadays, they hide one
cooler,
just one little baby cooler. Like they'll have you'll see the biggest section of like fucking United Milk and shit. Yeah. Like, you'll see like one row or whatever Turners,
and you got it's a diamond in the rough.
They have it. Whenever the new shit comes out, like I got it all. I had like the blue Star Wars shit.
Oh yeah, that was my favorite. That blue milk.
I always message you, and it's like, I just take a sip of them.
Yeah,
like
that's all right.
Like I said, my carbon footprint's fucked up. I take a sip of this shit and just throw it away. Like, but it's like I really don't drink milk.
I will take I'll take one, and man. It's just like. I mean, once you open it, I don't even put the lid back on. It's gone. I just put it right down. But the chocolate marshmallow milk is out and available, so grab that before you can. You could also go to steelcitybrand.com and grab some Steel City Turners merch. I doubt that will be available for much longer, so hop over and grab it. Please, if you have not, rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. That is a huge help for me, and it's always thankful. I'm always thankful for it. Thanks for listening, and I'll call you right back.